Next on Saratoga Live, a turf sprint is today's feature, and pocket change is much more than just a hunch play in the lucky coin. He is the one to beat. He'll have to deal with Rocket Heat, who zipped away from a field at Saratoga to air by 4 lengths. He'll try and go gate to wire in the lead again today with John Velasquez. And after 3 consecutive runner-up finishes, all at Saratoga, and dancing all night, break through for her Hall of Fame connections. All of that and much more coming up on this Friday edition of Saratoga Live, the final weekend of the premier race meet in the country. It's brought to you by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Great to have you with us on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. Crowd taking in the final Friday of the meet here in Saratoga Springs. And we've had a nice day to this point. Our late pick 4 is coming up. And our feature race, the Lucky Coin, 5.5 on the turf sprinting. Greg Wolf alongside one of the top trainers in the country, Tom Amos. In our feature race, there's some talented runners in this group, including Extravagant Kid in here for Brendan Walsh, who is a 2-time stakes winner on the turf.
A ship in from the Midwest, from Ellis Park for Brandon Walsh. Extravagant Kid ran second last time in a race that really was dominated by speed. That card that day at Ellis Park, if you were close, you ran a little bit better than your form even suggests. So Extravagant Kid, although one of the choices in this race, I think is a horse that might be up against it.
The Saratoga for the first time. We'll see if he can sit off of the speedy Rocket Heat, and also pocket change. The 7-5 morning line favorite has speed as well, though he's going to be cutting back in distance. We'll see if that dulls his speed at all. Get signed up, get started, play along. $200 new member bonus when you use the promo code Saratoga Live to bet any track, anywhere, anytime, and play everything that we have to offer, including this pick 4 that is coming up. We're going to check in with our downstairs crew right now down by the paddock. New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, former New York Met, LA Dodger, Paul LaDuca.
Thanks, Greg. Now, after Pocket Change, who's cutting back to a sprint, stretched out to a mile last time, a horse with sprint speed. After he was somehow last going a mile against Voodoo Song last time out, I called Ripley. He said he didn't believe it. Could you believe it?
No, and listen, Pocket Change is a tough horse to figure out, and the reason is, you're right. I mean,
what were they doing?
Did no running. I mean, the bobble, I guess, to start, but it wasn't that much of a bobble, and then just did not go on with it. Now they go back to sprinting, and this is obviously what this colt wants to do, but he's got to deal with a serious racehorse in here.
No, this is a tough field.
Yeah.
He's got the speed of Rocket Heat. You've got a horse, very good horse inside of an Extravagant Kid. I'm amazed looking at that video. That was early December at Aqueduct on the new outer turf course, actually. Doesn't look like December, taking a look there. Jason Service, he's had a very good meet. Obviously not the kind of numbers he was having at Belmont, but still. Saratoga, Belmont, you can't keep winning like that. He's the one to beat, but I think it's contentious.
No, it is a very contentious field. You can make cases for others, but the bottom line is they have to catch the Rocket Heat. He might be the fastest horses on the ground.
He is a very quick horse. Can Kendrick Carmouche send Bold Thunder, the horse inside of him?
Sure.
I think that's one of the questions in here. There's a lot more going on, though, in today's card. Today's 8th race, an excellent allowance race as well. And you know who else is excellent? Maggie Wolfendale.
Well, guys, you were discussing the speed of the speeds, and that is Rocket Heat in here. I think he is the fastest, as Johnny V will be up again, but he is going first off the claim for a trainer in Mike Tenuzzo. Last time we saw Rocket Heat, he was wearing the colors of Matt Scherer, who has had an excellent Saratoga meeting, for trainer Carlos Martin. Now, he is a horse that once upon a time was a grade 3 winner, 2016, taking down the Churchill Downs turf sprint, and he will be playing Catch Me If You Can. It's nice to see that he does have an affinity for this course, but Mikey Tenuzzo has not had many starters this year, so he is looking to find his first win of 2018. Greg, will it be today?
Well, that's the answer we're going to find out in just a little bit. We're very much looking forward to our feature race coming up. Some talented runners in there going 5.5 on the turf. Here's our entire sequence for today. The pick 4 starts in the 7th. 6 furlongs, maiden special weight coming up. 8th race, very good group. Going 6 furlongs, trying to get that first allowance level victory. The lucky coin, we talked about our feature, and we'll close things out in the 10th race. 7 furlongs. For horses who have not won 2 lifetime, and if you don't think it's the favorite in that spot, which is certainly no certainty, then it appears to be a wide open race. Weather and track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of the Saratoga race course. Piranha on, tests gone. The main track, fast turf course. Good for today's action as we get set for race 7 here. So maiden special weight, 3/4 of a mile. Tom, it's a first-time filly, daughter of Uncle Mo for trainer Brian Lynch, that's getting all the attention on the board right now.
It is from the outside post. It's the eight post from Mo Moxie, one of 2 first-time starters in this race. But that's where the action is right now on the 8-horse, the so-called smart money betting this first-time starter. Greg, it's a tough post for a first-time starter. They've never experienced a race before. They've never been in the gate with this many horses. 9 times out of 10 in that outside post, they'll break away from the field. They'll shy from the group. And when that happens, you lose all your position.
8-1 morning line. There's a look at her. Daughter of Uncle Mo. She's the 2-1 top choice. Let's take a look at what she did here in the pick 4.
Well, I used that first-time starter, the 8-horse. Good works for Brian Lynch's 8-horse. But my pick in this race is Smile More, the 6-horse, who has the race experience underneath her belt. And as you can see, I'm going to go down to that, all the way to that 10th race, and I'm going to bite. I'm going to go with the big favorite in that race. And as you said, with Timeless Beauty, the 2-horse in the last race, if it's not her, it could be anybody.
All right, we'll see how it plays out. Paula Duca put together a ticket for us as well. Paul, what'd you come up with?
Well, Tom and I are very similar. I'm going to be a little bit more expensive. I don't trust this race. I really don't. I even think the Cherie DeVoe, the 3 in here, Miss Vinegar's got a decent shot. She had a horse run earlier that improved. And to me, the 6 Smile More, I'm surprised. This horse, wow, acting up a little bit in the paddock. Maybe that's why he is 7-1. Then 7, 8, 10 in race number 8. That's a difficult race. I'm leaving out the 4, Special Relativity, a lot of other horses, 3, 6, 7, 8. And, you know, in the last race, I thought it was going to be Robertina Diodoro. So I went with both of them, the 2 or the 4 in the last. I don't know which one's going to be better.
Yeah, I think it's tough to separate those 2. Timeless Beauty, the 2, the morning line favorite. Heaven's Creation, Robertino Diodoro's other runner in that spot. First off the claim with both of those runners in our nightcap. You can use your NYRA Bets app to hit a trifecta in the Lucky Coin today. And if you do, you'll get a 10% winner's bonus when you use the NYRA app. It's available in the App Store or for Android on NYRABets.com. NYRA Bets offers a 10% winner's bonus on a selected stakes race every day of the meets. Go to NYRABets.com for the full schedule. Jad Brown, he's already got a couple of winners on today's card. Can he rack up another one in here? Big birthday. Javier Castellano will be aboard the Daughter of Mine Shaft, making career start number 4, trying to get that maiden victory. We'll be back right after this.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with NYRA Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or NYRA Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NYRABets.com.
Nyquist switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Phoenix has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Visit Rivers Casino and Resort, upstate New York's ultimate entertainment destination with live table game action and the hottest new slots paying out millions. Book your luxury waterfront room or suite at upstate New York's premier resort, the Landing Hotel at Rivers Casino and Resort.
It's the jewel of all the racetracks I've been to. By far and away the best.
For 50 years, believe it or not, they think Disney's the happiest place on earth. This is it.
Saratoga is just really nice, and you go in and all the restaurants are really good, and once you go to the horse track, it's really good too.
I have been coming up here for 55 years.
Every day, whether you win or you lose, you're having a good time.
Couldn't be any better place to watch him than at Saratoga.
It is heaven for horse racing fans. This place is so special as we head into our final weekend here of this 2018 meet at Saratoga. Right now, we're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale. It's Paddock Report time. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Curlin for $150,000. Hi, Maggie.
Hey, Greg, and we'll start off with the two first-time starters here in this field of maiden special weight runners for the older fillies and mares. And Tipazar is going out for trainer Ron Moquette, and I like what I see from this filly. She has a size. She's awfully classy acting here in the paddock. She's well-balanced. The only thing is fitness. Really feel as though that maybe a start would benefit her, though I kind of feel as though she may make a good showing of herself, just not necessarily convinced it's going to be a winning one. Whereas number 8 in here, that is the other first-time starter for trainer Brian Lynch, Mo Moxie. She's stout. She looks as though she may be quick, hence the money that she's taking. She's another one that's been very professional here at First Asking, and she looks really fit for this debut for her connections. Now, as far as second-time starters are concerned, number 6, Smile More. First time out, I just felt as though she would benefit from a start because while she looked fit enough, she just didn't look strong enough. She looked very weak across that top line throughout her hindquarters, and now with the race, they've kind of come up, they've filled out a little bit, so I like that about her. She was a little bit on the obstreperous side to get the tack on. She kind of went up, and once they got the overgirth on her, but since then, she's been A-okay. I, obviously, guys, will keep my eyes on her, but who did you all like heading into this race that kicks off our show?
It's a tricky race, Maggie, and I mean, the 5 in here, I mean, forgetting about the first-time starter, took some early money, and we'll see where the 8 Mo Moxie settles as we get closer to post. Big birthday. Paul, I'm just beginning to wonder how good she is, but she's probably good enough that she can win here.
Yeah, she is. The worry about the 5 is she's a Chad Brown runner 1. She's been in 3 separate races, and she's never been the favorite. And some of the other horses coming out of those races, while they've run okay in some other races, they haven't been any world beaters. So you're wondering, is she okay? And she's working at Monmouth, and that hasn't been the winning recipe so far for him.
Yeah, you know, and you look at her last race, okay, speed was actually pretty good that day, so maybe she's a little compromised. But the buyer figure her win 2 back, which is big, has not really been proven predictive going forward, so it could be a little on the high side. I think she's a big-time player, but she's no value with Chad Brown. Use her in your pick 4, but maybe try to beat her in the race.
Yeah, I think so. There's no value in her. Maybe there's value in the 7 because she's beaten her. You know, and there's no value in the 8, too, either, at 3-1. Maybe when she floats up this first-time starter, because she's got to beat a couple horses that have run here.
Post-parade coming up. We'll kick things off with Say It Softly. 17-1 here for Dwayne Lucas. David Cohen.
I actually think this long shot has a chance in this race. Wayne Lucas has very good numbers going turf to dirt with maidens, particularly in sprints.
Big price at 17-1. Let's start number 9 for that filly by Sky Mesa. Here's Tipazar, first-time starter for Ron Moquette.
Maybe this is the horse that's sneaky. 7-1. Moquette's horse has been working, and look at that July 1st drill at Churchill. Bullet.
Miss Vinegar for former Chad Brown assistant Cherie DeVoe. Kendrick Carmouche aboard.
Well, she is second off a layoff and second time in Cherie's barn, so perhaps she can improve off her last effort. She'll need to.
20-1 Kendrick Carmouche in the irons this afternoon. Baccarat Fashion comes in from Laurel. And Luis Saez in the irons showed some speed last start.
Showed a lot of speed. Opened up 5 lengths on an off-the-turf event. And maybe she is the speed. Just the worry is, can she stick against this group?
Chad Brown meets leading trainer, closing in on a record for all-time wins at the meet. He has 2 wins already today, and Javier Castellano's been on board for both.
She's clearly one of the main horses to beat in this race. And in this field, she figures, in fact, maybe be the one to beat.
Smile More, trained by Horacio De Paz, and Jose Ortiz aboard, 5-1.
You know, 7-1 first time out, got taken back on purpose and actually made up some ground. I thought this filly would get bet. She's really not with Jose sticking here at 5-1.
French Empire for George Weaver transitioned to the main track last start here at Saratoga at 7A. Irad Ortiz Jr. back aboard.
Well, there's an argument. Her last race is as fast pretty much as anyone's gone here and faster than most. I didn't think she did a lot of running, however, in the race.
And the first-timer still taking plenty of support for her debut. Brian Lynch, Jose Lezcano team up with Mo Moxie.
Yeah, Brian Lynch is a great trainer. And listen, he's 6% with his first-time starters. So the fact that this filly by Uncle Mo has taken that much money, she has to be very live.
There's the 7. Didn't get a look at this one earlier. Daughter of Street Sense for George Weaver.
I still don't like her. I didn't like her before. I don't like her now.
We know where Andy Serling stands. So 7-2 on French Empire. A hard pass for Andy Serling as we take a look at the standings at the meet here as we head into the final Saturday, Sunday. Irad Ortiz Jr. healthy. 10-win advantage over Javier Castellano, who again has a couple of victories today, both of them for Chad Brown. But Irad, coming off that victorious meet at Belmont where he had 60 victories, another great Saratoga for him.
Great Saratoga for him, and even better Saratoga for Chad Brown. He gets that title. He gets that record, in my opinion.
2 wins away from setting the new record, 1 win away from equaling what he set 2 years ago and what Todd Pletcher equaled last year with 40 victories. But it looks like all but done that he makes the new mark.
I think if it was a fight, they'd stop it. That's how far in front he is. I mean, he's lapped the competition.
Well, here's what he's done today. Chiclet's Dream, apart from the crowd. Huge favorites, both odds on winning. Somehow, he did not win in a race back in the 4th where he had 2 real live horses in there with Penjade and Rimska, but we'll see if he can get it done here. He has the favorite, and I don't know, what did you think? I didn't think this horse should be the favorite in this race.
Oh, I can see where that money is coming from. Number one, they're going to bet Chad Brown no matter what, but those races that Big Birthdays run, the 5-horse, they're good enough to win here. The thing that makes you nervous is if they come out of the Chad Brown barn and they've run 3 times and they haven't gotten the job done with how good Chad Brown is with his first-time starters and with his maidens, you begin to wonder, is it ever going to be Big Birthday's day? I guess we'll see.
There is the meet's leading trainer, reigning Eclipse Award-winning trainer as well, Chad Brown. And he has got all kinds of bullets to fire this weekend in the holster.
He does
in the big races.
No, he does indeed. And he doesn't disappoint, does he? When he's in the big races, he seems to get them home.
Here's his 3-year-old filly by Mineshaft. Favored guys, still 5-2 favorite on the board here for start number 4 coming up.
I tend to actually agree with the things Tom was saying, and I think Paul does too. This horse has chances for Chad. She might win by attrition here. I preferred Smile more. I know her first race a little slower than some of these have run, but I thought the way she ran for Ratio Deposit, she looked like one that probably needed that race when improved second time.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I just don't get why the horse is not getting played at all here. It's really confusing. You know, I thought the race was good, like you said, into a deeper racetrack. The horse that won the race, we'll see a little bit later, went gate to wire. So 5-1 worries me that the horse is not getting played. But I get that, you know, Chad Brown shows up on the 5, the numbers are okay, but maybe most of that money's going to the first-time starter.
I'm curious if you disagree with me on the 7 French Empire, and I'm not saying she can't win, because she obviously can win. I just felt like she kind of sat herself on the rail behind the speeds in that race and didn't really do any running. I thought Big Birthday probably, even though she was behind her, may have run better because she was wider. Now, maybe she has more room to improve, but I just didn't see French Empire doing much running.
Yeah, she just sort of ran around there evenly. I think she wants 2 turns, but then they cut back with her, which is very interesting. And I'm wondering, you know, they went pretty good clip, but they didn't come home great where Irad's going to place her. She might be faster than the 6. I think the 6 will break a little bit sharper today, but I could see the 7 winning this race, maybe getting outside. She's been inside twice. Maybe getting outside will help.
Now, here's my question on Mo Moxie, the outside horse who's favored right now, a first-time starter for Brian Lynch. There really isn't a ton of pedigree from the dam side. She's the 3rd foal. The other 2 didn't run much. It is an Uncle Mo, and obviously he's good. Is this horse a short price because not thrilled with any of the horses that have run in here, or is there a story on this horse?
I think more of a story on this horse because when you look at the race, the 5, 6, and 7 actually have decent credentials. Even the 4. I mean, the 4 opened 5 lengths up on a field last time out and ran second, but the 5 has a 76 buyer. The 6 has a nice race under her belt. And the 7 has 2 nice races. So the 8 has to run a pretty good race first time out to beat those 3 fillies.
Yeah, I just wonder if there was a big story on her, if she'd be a shorter price in this field, because I didn't know how strong the field was. Let me ask you a question. Why is Say It Softly impossible in here? She's getting back to 6 furlongs. She's run some figures that are close enough within hailing distance. I love the turf to dirt move for Wayne, and I just thought she was kind of an interesting horse at a very big price. Maybe not good enough to win, but 3rd or 4th in tries and supers.
Yeah, you know, her race, her second race of her career, she almost won that race at Oaklawn Park. She ran a good race, sprinting at Churchill Downs. And you're right, D. Wayne, he's like 22% over a long, in a big sample from turf to dirt. And this horse comes off a yielding track. So blinkers on. I would think this horse is going to show some speed, too.
All right. Well, I know Tom has something to say about my choice, the 6 Mile More.
Yeah, so let's come back around to the 6 horse, Andy Smile More. On that particular day, Smile More, who came from well back in that field, none of the horses changed position except for Smile More, who made a nice run at the end of that race, a race of experience underneath her belt. You know, I agree with Paul. I think she'll be a little closer today. I think she'll get a good setup. We talk about it all the time. When you get that first race experience, this is where you see the most improvement from first to second race. Smile More, I don't care that they're not betting on her. I actually like that. I don't need the confidence of the public to tell me who I like in this race. 9-2 is juicy, and I'm all in.
All right, so a price on the horse who was, by the way, the morning line favorite. Little cool on the board, though, right now. Meanwhile, here's French Empire for George Weaver with more on this filly. Let's go to Maggie.
Well, geez, Smile More has no shot now. We all picked her, but I was a big fan of the winner of that race. That's why I like her. Now, number 7, French Empire, is the favorite. I am baffled by this. I'll be completely honest. This is a filly that, if anything, I think looking at her at least, wants to go further rather than shorter, as she'll be cutting back from the 7 furlongs here. Now, she's done everything ahead of the group today. She broke away from the post parade. She went immediately to the backside. She's up with the handler. She can be a bit of a nervous type. That's where they're just trying to keep her away from the rest of the horses. And you see she's wearing that breast collar there. She's very, very narrow. And to me, that speaks of a horse that wants to cover more ground. I don't love her at 5-2 especially, but I know she's run the fastest races, or at least her last race, on the dirt. Moving on to number 3, Miss Vinegar, the biggest price in here. She definitely got the most aggressive warm-up of any second time out here for Cherie DeVoe, and she's actually looking way stronger than what she was going back to that first race coming out of the Smile More event as well. And I think with Kendrick Carmouche aboard, they're going to try to get this filly to the front. Don't think she can necessarily secure that, though, from the out-of-towner in number 4, Baccarat Fashion. Now, number 8, Mo Moxie. She is owned by a syndicate. And we see this sometimes with syndicates, as you guys were alluding to. Maybe there's a story. They also like to bet. I mean, I've seen these victory racing horses. They take some money. Sometimes it means something. Sometimes it doesn't. We'll see, though. I mean, we see it with West Point. We see it with Zilla. A lot of times our horses are shorter prices than what they project to be, Greg.
All right, so maybe that's the reason this filly opened up at such a short number. 3-1. She is still second choice on the board for a trainer. Doesn't have the greatest numbers first time out, but Brian Lynch is a very sharp trainer.
Yeah, and Andy pointed out this is a very weak pedigree, and it is in his first family. So the best thing she has going for her, I guess, is the sire, Uncle Mo. But a lot to overcome here for a first-time start from that outside post.
Meanwhile, you see Irad Ortiz Jr. there, feet out of the irons, trying to keep this filly relaxed. Daughter of Street Sense, who debuted on the turf going long back at Gulfstream, so came here to Saratoga, went 7/8 on the main track, and had a few issues out of the gate.
Yeah, look, it's got to be said. Okay, let's take a harder look at this race. It's not a great group by the standards of what we usually get at Saratoga. So I guess people are looking elsewhere from the 5 horse, our favorite right now, 5-2, Big Birthday, who's had 3 starts and has been beaten 3rd and 4th 2 different times. But you can't take away from the fact that her races are faster than the rest of these. So either they step up or the favorite wins.
Chad Brown trying to collect his 3rd winner on today's card as he's closing in on the all-time record here at Saratoga, campaigning this one right here, the 5 Big Birthday, daughter of Mine Shaft. Debuted as a 2-year-old filly at Belmont, going a mile last year. Came back against Philly, we're going to see in the next race, Wisconsin Knight, who beat her and then ran 4th, took a little bit of a backwards move here in her Saratoga debut. What will happen today? We'll find out. The 5, big birthday for the meet's leading trainer, Chad Brown. 2 away from the all-time record here at Saratoga. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call and start of the pick 4. Here's Larry Colmus.
Just a few more to go into the starting gate here. Miss Vinegar about to take her position in the gate under Kendra Carmouche. Steps forward to stall 3, to be followed by Baccarat Fashion, and Mo Moxie will be the last one to go in, one of the first-time starters here. At odds of 3-1 right now on Mo Moxie as Baccarat Fashion goes in. And Jose Lezcano and Mo Moxie take up position in the outside stall to complete the line here. They go in, and they're all in line. They're off. Big Birthday broke very well. Say It Softly sent along from the inside. Baccarat Fashion between those two. These 3 fight for the front. Then French Empire, Miss Vinegar to the inside. And then Smile More. Tip Bazaar and Mo Moxie, the first-time starters at the rear of the field as they head up the backstretch. Say It Softly in front. On the outside is Baccarat Fashion running in second. These 2 complete the first quarter in 22.37 seconds. Big Birthday, 2 lengths off of them, running in third. Miss Vinegar 4th on the inside. And then it's French Empire in 5th. 5 from the front as they round the far turn. Smile More is next. Mo Moxie and Tip Bazaar on the inside. It is Say It Softly on top. Big Birthday runs up alongside now. The 2 of them are stride for stride, and Big Birthday to the front as they come to the top of the stretch. Big Birthday ran a 45.88 half mile and takes charge here, pulling away to a 3-length lead. Say It Softly is second, and then it's French Empire. On the far outside comes Smile More. Tip Bazaar splitting horses late, but they're all far behind Big Birthday, which will give Chad Brown a record-tying 40 wins on the meet. Big Birthday by 4 on the wire. Smile More was second, Tip Bazaar was third, and French Empire was 4th.
There is Chad Brown, equals a record that he set 2 seasons ago that Todd Pletcher equaled last year, 40 victories and plenty of time to break that number.
No, he does indeed. Congratulations to Chad Brown and to Big Birthday. This race was very formful. Big Birthday sat in a very good position, stalking on the outside, took over down the lane. A late run from Smile More, who gallops out in front of Big Birthday, maybe more distance for her. As for our first-time starter, Mo Moxie, didn't break well from the back of the pack. Hard to overcome that from that outside post.
This horse is just much the best. She was much more professional today, too. She really put herself in the race, made the move at the quarter pole, put the race away, and Chad Brown wins his 3rd today and 40th the meet.
Yeah, it's just becoming a tour de force. It's over. Like Frank Miramati would say, Tom, like you said earlier, Richard Steele, it's over with.
He's been tough to beat all meet long. There with the owner of this 3-year-old filly, Peter Brandt, and goes off as the 5-2 favorite and equals what he did 2 seasons ago. This meet means so much. Winning this title to Chad Brown, who grew up nearby here in Mechanicville, it means so much to him. Grew up going to the races here, so this has to feel awfully good to get it back after it was wrestled away from him last season. He only lost by 1.
You can hear the crowd below us right now in the winner's circle. They're all applauding Chad for the accomplishment. There's more to come.
Yes, there is. He is loaded all weekend long with stakes runners that have huge chances. So maybe the best still yet to come from a trainer that just equaled the record for victories at the meet. But incredible job by Chad Brown. All 3 winners today with that man on board who's had a great meet himself, Javier Castellano, who was a 4-time Eclipse Award winning rider, 4 years in a row, in fact, until Jose Ortiz ended that streak this past year. And this horse now finally career start number 4. This filly breaks through.
Breaks through. And, you know, look, sometimes fillies are a little slow to come around, as Andy said, and I agree. This horse was very professional today. She's got a future.
So Big Birthday gets the job done here, does so as the favorite to start off our pick 4. Javier Castellano in second place in the rider standings with another win. He started out hot at this meet, and it helps when you're riding for a barn that sets a new record as well in victories.
He's got to be pleased with his meet. I mean, he won the Travers. He's had a very, very solid meet, solid second in the standings right now. He has to be satisfied with that.
So Chad Brown, congratulations to him. Want to remind everybody you can get involved, play along with the Saratoga Showdown online contest every day of our show. You're not risking any of your own money. You're playing for real prizes that include a grand prize of tickets to next year's Belmont Stakes, third and final leg of the Triple Crown. So get involved. Go to NYRA.com/showdown. Coming up, and speaking of the Belmont Stakes, we're going to have a half-sister to a Belmont winner, Triple Crown winner, American Pharoah, coming to the grounds this weekend here, which we'll talk about later on in the show. But here's a look at the winning move from Big Birthday.
Yeah, stalking the pace, as any horse that was the best in the race might do. Look at those hands on Javier. He's not doing a lot on his horse right now, just nudging a little bit. He's going to ass right through here, and it's a whole different ball game when he does. There's big separation from the field at that point.
Yeah, that was what you usually see as kind of moves on the turf. And this is the kind of move I think a lot of us expected from her last time she ran.
Yeah.
And she just never had it. Much different horse today.
Yeah, you can see the difference in strides, how the 5 has that short, choppy stride, but she's got her head low, where the 6 has got a little bit longer stride, like Tom was suggesting that she might want to go longer, but the 5 is she lowered her head there deep in stretch. I'm with Tom. She might have turned the corner with that effort.
Nice to see Chad there with his dad, Jerry, as well. Nice to share your success with your family.
Yeah, that's true.
Brother Todd's in there somewhere, too.
Historic victory, but the big one will be the next one. That will set the new record for victories. And look at the congratulations there from Javier and Chad and Peter Brandt. All smiles as he equals that record. 3 wins again today for Javier, and all with Chad Brown. $7.10 on your winner. Let's send it downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, guys. And here with Chad Brown. Big birthday today. She was all professionalism.
She was. She broke really good this time. We got her back to sprinting. And, you know, after a nice race back, I ran her back too soon. It's really my fault. And she was tired. She wasn't ready to run again. So I told Mr. Peter Brandt, give me another try here. Give her a little more time. You'll see a better result. And everyone was patient, and she ran better.
She really did. She really put it all together today. And Chad, how's it feel? You are at your own mark that you set 2 years ago with 40 wins, and we still have 3 days, 4 days. Wait, I can't do my math right. 3 days left. I mean, you're going to set a new one by leaps and bounds.
Well, you still got to win the races. It's a team record. I'm fortunate to be interviewing with you, but so many people do so much hard work. So many nice horses like this, and loyal clients like Peter Brandt. So many of them. I'm a really lucky guy.
You really are. Congratulations. Well deserved here.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
What an incredible span he has had over the last 3 seasons at Saratoga. This is the toughest place to win races anywhere in the country.
You're telling me that?
So I didn't I didn't mean to look at you in the eyes as I told you that. 119 wins over the last 3 years for Chad Brown here.
I mean, he's got the most powerful stable in North America. Let's just put that out there right now. Now, Baffert is more of a boutique-type stable. He's not as big as Chad, so he's got great horses,
He wins Triple
too.
Crowns.
Yeah. He knows what to do. But Chad Brown, horse for horse, has the most powerful stable in North America.
Unbelievable numbers. Big birthday, $7.10 for the win, as we mentioned, owned by Peter Brandt. Bred by Godolphin, daughter of Mine Shaft, out of successful appeal mare, Jellicle. There he is. So I love how Maggie put no pressure on him. You're going to break it by leaps and bounds. Yeah. That's the toughest meeting. Don't put that much pressure on him. Let him enjoy the moment. NYRA Bets late pick 5 follow along. Total pool $185,000. Scarf it down. Started it off as the slight, I believe, second choice, I want to say, in the opening leg, and now a favorite. Big birthday in leg 2. Get down, play along. The NYRA Bets late pick 5 tomorrow is Saturday, so that means one more chance here at Saratoga to be the only winning ticket and get a guaranteed minimum payout of $300,000 in your account if you play it through NYRA Bets.
Man, I want that to happen for somebody. I really do. I'm thinking in my head, somebody. That's what I'm thinking.
He just winked at me, everybody. I'm feeling it, too. I'm feeling it tomorrow, Tom. 3/4 of a mile coming up next in this entry-level allowance in race 8. Naples Princess for Bill Mott opens up as the favorite here. She was 6-1 on the morning line. She chased a real good one for Kieran McLaughlin, who was undefeated last time, and that filly got the much better trip than she did when they met last start.
Yeah, look, I love her 2 starts this year. I think Naples Princess is a different horse than she is from last year. So when I'm handicapping this race, I am looking at her starts exclusively from this year. They're both very good.
It is coming up. We're 26 minutes away. We'll go through the entire field. Coming up, second in the Travers here last year, Gunnevera on the compact trail looked real sharp, prepping for the Woodward tomorrow.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Laurent Giroux took a peek to his left there. Gun Runner's got a 6-length lead in mid-stretch. Neolithic is next, then Rally Cry, Discreet Lover, and War Story, but they're way behind Gun Runner. Gun Runner, very impressive in the Woodward.
Well, Gun Runner owned this meet last summer. Of course, he would go on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic, the Pegasus World Cup, as well, named Horse of the Year. Won the Woodward by 10 1/4 lengths. That was off a 5 1/4 length win in the Whitney. And trainer Steve Asmussen, he's had some great success in this race, along with victories with Curlin and Rachel Alexandra.
And I think you're mentioning not only a couple of boys that won it, but Rachel Alexander being a girl, beating the boys that day. Big, big effort.
Well, here's a look at the field for this year's Woodward. 1 1/8, grade 1. Versus $750,000. And Yoshida Ryan, the main track for the first time for Hall of Famer Bill Mott.
How about a little fact about Yoshida? Yoshida's mom was a multiple grade stakes winner, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, all in the dirt. Going one turn, but nonetheless. So when you're puzzled by Yoshida that's never been on the dirt in his life and wondering what he's doing in the Woodward, pedigree says, things that make you go,
Grade 1 winner on turf. Will he be a grade 1 winner on dirt? Here are the contenders for Saturday's Woodward. It's the final major prize for older horses of the Saratoga meet. And this year's Woodward may be the most wide open grade 1 of the season. While Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott last year successfully transitioned Good Samaritan from turf to dirt in a Jim Dandy win, in the Woodward, he'll try the reverse with Yoshida, where the grade 1 winner on turf tackles the main track for the first time from the inside post.
Well, it's the shortest way home. He's always had decent works on the dirt. You know, like to say they're spectacular, I wouldn't say that, but they've been very good, similar to what we see on the turf. I mean, he's worked good on both surfaces. He's got a lot of dirt breeding in his pedigree, so that's one thing that leads us to believe that he'd have a chance on the dirt.
Gunnevera showed up at Saratoga last summer and completely outran his 24-to-1 odds with a runner-up finish in the Travers. He's danced all the big dances, the Breeders' Cup Classic, Pegasus Cup, and Dubai World Cup. With no gun runner or West Coast to deal with, this could be his turn to finally break through on the big stage.
The race is 14 horses, although the field is big field, but I consider that my horse has first chance in the race.
Sunny Ridge, as a 5-year-old, is rounding into the best form of his career for trainer Jason Service. If he can actually improve on his last start in the state dinner at Belmont, he could be the horse to beat.
Sunny Ridge, who takes the state dinner.
Then there's Seeking the Soul, another 5-year-old. He, too, has turned in the best form of his racing career over his last 4 starts, including a grade 1 win in the Clark Handicap at Churchill Downs. Trainer Dallas Stewart says a freshening has him back in top form.
He got bruised up and banged up. We just had to give him a little bit of time. We jogged him for about 60 days, galloped him for another, 45 or 60, and then began working him, and he came through it very well. We know he's a fighter. He's a grade 1 winner already, so tough field, and it's a great horse race.
There's also a Belmont Stakes winner, a horse who freaked on this surface last summer, and the 3rd-place finisher from the Whitney, all lining up in what should be one of the best betting events of the entire meet. Well, it certainly is a tremendous betting race. It is a wide open group. 4-to-1 is your morning line favorite, Tom. That, of course, is Gunnevera, who ran very, very good here in the Travers last summer.
Yeah, ran very good as a 3-year-old, making that transition against older horses, now 4. Gunnevera went to Dubai and left that race with about a half of a foot, had about half the foot taken off out of the starting gate by an opposing horse. Came back at Gulfstream, 1-9, beat a field, had to be ridden for a lot of that race in that particular spot. This is a horse, Gunnevera, he wants pace. For a big 14-horse field, Andy, I'm not seeing a tremendous amount of pace.
It's amazing how the game has changed, Tom, right? You couldn't imagine 14 horses lining up for a race like this and not having much speed. There really isn't a lot. It'll be interesting. I wonder if there's somebody who's posted more towards the inside that'll try to be a bit aggressive, because so much of the pace is in the 12, 13, and 14 slots in here, including the 12 Sunny Ridge. Can he overcome the post? Can he somehow clear and control this race?
Yeah, he could, and he's a New Jersey bred, and don't let that fool you, because he can run some big races. He does have a race here at Saratoga, was not good. But you make a great point that he likes to sit from a tiny bit off the pace. He can go to the front end. He's tactical, and he's got $1 million in his bank.
This horse has been a great stakes performer from 2, 3, 4, and 5. He's a talented runner. His last race is the best race he ever ran. If he can duplicate that kind of effort, and I thought he ran very well here. The rail was good that day. It's not like the track carried him. If he can duplicate that effort and overcome his 12 post, he could be the one that's the most talented in the best tactical position as Woodward. But I tell you, it's a war.
It certainly is. And there's a couple of horses, and Sunny Ridge is one of them, who have just really seemed to blossom now as they've become 5-year-olds. Seeking the Soul for Dallas Stewart, another one. The Woodward coming up tomorrow from Saratoga. Grade 1 prize in the older horse division. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more coming up in just a moment. Is that Jaeger? Maggie Wolfendale's mount.
Undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners Taylor Spirit, He Hate Me, and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have brought prices up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Clayton Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Brunches out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Gonna turn with a length and a half lead. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, we're getting set for the 8th race coming up as we get a look at Dancing All Night. It's our current favorite here in the 8th race for Shug McGahee. John Velasquez will be aboard 5-year-old mare trying to get through her first allowance condition. She is coming back quick, raced back on August the 17th here at Saratoga. Time for a paddock report now. We're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Bayern for $15,000.
Thanks, Greg. And this group is very interesting for fillies and mares. As a whole, each of them is probably one of the most biggest filly or mare that I've seen, and they're all here together, which is kind of intriguing. If somebody didn't know any better and walked in here and said, yeah, this is a group of colts and geldings, you'd be apt to believe them, as number 5, Layla, is coming back off of a layoff and going first time out here for trainer Al Stahl. She is just massive. I mean, she's grown quite a bit from 3 to 4 as well. And because she is that broader type, she does look as though she might be a little bit on the heavier side, where she might come up a little bit short here in this race. But I like her presence here in the paddock, and that she has big, powerful walk to her. And it looks as though she's happy to be here, happy to be back at the race. It's just the fitness factor I'm a little concerned about. Number 8 is Treasure in Heaven, who beat a very nice horse all the way back in December at Gulfstream and Alter Moon. And looking at Treasure in Heaven, she is so tall. She's very, very big. Ooh, and feisty too. Javier, watch out. As she looks as though she's awfully fit, awfully sharp coming back here. If she can get back to those races that she had, I know they're a little bit on the slower side, but she looks as though she can build upon them as a 3-year-old now. Might be some talent in this runner for trainer Brian Lynch. Now, number 10 is Dancing All Night. As Greg said, coming back off short rest. And this is a horse that I've seen get on her toes, get a little wound up. She's awfully quiet here today. And if it wasn't a short gap in between races, I would say that's a good thing. But because it is that short gap, I'm wondering, are we dealing with a tired type of horse? I like her overall, and the blinkers go on, a pretty big cheater clip, but is this, Andy, too tight running back-to-back races for Dancing All Night?
You know, and listen, it's a tough question to answer, as you're talking about. I guess in a lot of ways you just sort of trust in Shug McGahee, and you hope for the best, that Shug knows best. But I think it's a reasonable question.
It really is a very reasonable question. And the other question is she's eating up some money. Now I get it. The last 2 races have been 10-horse fields, Andy. And here's the break.
Nothing happened to her. And I watched the head-on of this race. I feel like she took herself out of the race as much as anything, Paul. Maybe I'm wrong.
She shied. I think she shied away more than she steadied the other horse. I'm with you. I don't think it was much. Now, did she run a good race? Yes. Now, this is her problem. She seems like she always gets right to the tip of the iceberg and just can't get there.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to knock either of her efforts. I think she's run well. I'm certainly not the person who should be questioning Shug McGahee, and I don't think any one of us were suggesting that coming back in 2 weeks. But I still think it's a question. And the other thing is, this is a tough field. There's a lot going on in here, and I just hate defaulting to a 2-to-1 shot where you have some question marks when there's some other interesting horses at better prices.
No, I agree. And I know blinkers are good with Shug. It's a great angle with him, but I thought the 7 in here, the 8, even the 2. And what about the 3? You know, Circle of Love did not run that bad, or excuse me, Smile More did not run that bad in the last race, and the 3 did beat him last time.
There's a lot going on in this field. I'm very interested in the 8 Treasure in Heaven as well, and like that Maggie had good things to say about her in the paddock, because I think her last race is much better than it looks.
I'm not sure there's anyone better dressed at the track than those 2 we just saw right there. Here's a look at Aunt Babe, 3-year-old filly by Desert Party, for Jimmy Ferraro and Dylan Davis rides.
I love that she's cutting back in distance, but she is biting off quite a lot in this race. It's a tough field.
Wisconsin Knight. She broke her maiden second time out at Belmont for Mark Hennig.
You know, she had issues at the gate. If she can get out of the gates, she's very fast. She might be the speed of the speed in here.
Katoria broke her maiden second start, and it came here at Saratoga for Mike Deeney with Joel Rosario.
I was going to say you missed the wedding with her, but she's almost the same price today. She was good last time. She'll need to be a little bit better today.
Special Relativity. She was 3rd behind a runner we saw him perform impressively the other day in Fair Regis, trained by Robertino Diodoro.
Yeah, a little surprised about the price here at 11-1. This is a filly that's in very sharp form. 2 good races so far off the claim for Diodoro.
Layla, the 5 for Al Stahl. She'll be making her 4-year-old debut with Luis Saez aboard.
She ran very well to break her maiden first time out. Didn't run as well subsequently. Has been off for about 11 months. But I think she's an interesting horse, making a trainer change to a very good trainer.
Rudy Rodriguez sends out Daniele for Zayat Stables. Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard. Turf to dirt.
40-1. Well, Rudy struck with a 50-1 a little bit earlier last week. This one's going to have to take the field gate to wire. She's lost her form since 2.
Here's Naples Princess for trainer Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado back aboard.
She ran her best race last time out, and sometimes that's a very good sign.
Here's Treasure in Heaven. She has not raced since December. This is her 3-year-old debut for Brian Lynch.
I thought she was giant first time out when she had a swoop, almost tried to get to the lead from the 12-hole, and then proved she was for real last time. She's one of the ones in here.
No one's faced tougher than this filly right here. She comes out of the Grade 1 test last start for Uriah St. Louis.
I agree. The class relief can only help her, but she's beating some tough fillies.
Favorite, Dancing All Night, 5-year-old mare, facing a lot of 3-year-olds in this spot here. Blinkers going on for Shug McGahee.
Yeah, I think that's the the question mark, Greg. You make a good point. 3-year-olds that have a lot of upside. Maybe we've seen what Dancing All Night already has.
And quick for Ian Wilkes, Jose Ortiz in the irons.
Love the cutback and distance for this one. Also getting back to a fast track. And wouldn't you love to see Mary Lou Whitney get to the winner's circle?
So at your field here for race 8, it is a good one coming up, especially if you think this 10 Dancing All Night is beatable. Very, very playable race coming up. We're going to take a break in the action. When we return, we will hear from Chad Brown on what it means to win at this meet that he grew up coming to, where he just equaled his own record.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warthrock. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Saratoga, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Claiborne Park.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York-sired New York bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a second time, to Belmont adding to his status as the richest New York bred with a close second in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires, 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes, and world record setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
Well, we say it all the time. There's so many great things to do around Saratoga Springs, not just the incredible racing. How about the Saratoga Auto Museum? Right now, Cars and Culture of the 50s is going on. All kinds of other exhibits as well, including New York State Stock Car Hall of Fame. And it is right here in town. So much to do and see here in Saratoga Springs, which is why it is the perfect summer destination. I thought you were Robin.
No, buddy. No.
Actually, you're the Riddler. I'm sorry, the Penguin with your purple today. I got it wrong. My bad. 8th race.
So not nice.
Coming up here, 6 furlongs, entry-level allowance, and a lot of ways to go in this race. It's Dancing All Night for Shug McGahee favored. There's, though, a look at Norma's Charm. So she's coming out of the Grade 1 test and the Grade 3 victory ride each of the last 2 starts. She obviously was overmatched in those spots. Dropping out of there, why couldn't she have a chance?
Well, she took a long time to break her maiden, first of all. That wasn't the test. It wasn't the victory ride. Those were just straight maiden races, and they were at parks to boot. So when she finally did get that done, the road's been a little rougher for her. Norma's Charm would have to step up to win this race.
There's the one that you got to beat here to cash. This is Dancing All Night. She broke her maiden actually second time out going a mile and 16th at Belmont. Now she's going to try and get a victory here sprinting. She's had a little bit of second-itis. In fact, 3 straight here, all at Saratoga.
Yeah, I liked her last race. I thought she had to use some horse out of the gate to get proper position. Took a little bit away from her finish. She was still finishing strong.
8th race coming up in our feature, the Lucky Coin. Still to come here on Saratoga Live. Welcome to Saratoga Live. Those just tuning in. Good to have you with us here on this Friday afternoon at the premier race meet in the country, presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Our feature race, the Lucky Coin, that is the 9th at 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Right now, though, it is race 8. 6 furlongs here, entry-level allowance race, and we're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. And out here on the track, horses are circling here as we are just behind the gates for this 6 furlong start. And let's talk a little bit about speed and warm-ups. Number 2, Wisconsin Knight. She definitely got a brisk warm-up from Irad Ortiz. In fact, this is the first time I've seen her walk since getting out on the track. And she's taken to it well. It's not as if she's gotten overly hot. She's just ready to rock and roll. And she does have that early speed and has that inside post position. Now, the other Ortiz, Jose, in fact, is on the outside runner in number 11, Quick. I love the turn back. I really didn't feel as though this filly wanted any part of going a mile and 8, especially over a wet track. Now, you can't notice it here because she's at a jog, but this filly does have something called string halt, and it's only visible at a walk, and really it virtually disappears, especially when a horse is at a gallop. But she just kind of hikes that leg up there a little bit more so. It's just something they developed. Looks as though she may have had an injury to that leg. There's a little scar there, but it has no bearing just if somebody noticed it. But quick, the turn back is just going to be absolutely key in here, Andy. I think we're both on the same horse, Treasure in Heaven, though.
Getting back to Treasure in Heaven, I just want to reiterate, this horse really, Alter Moon, who was second to her, is a stakes winner. She won the Azalea down at Gulfstream Park, and she finished a good 4th in our test. This horse beat a field last time that is much better than that 74 buyer figure suggests.
I couldn't agree with you more. Like I said, you're taking 2 to 1 on a 5-year-old mare with the 10. You got the upside of the 8 and the 7 in here. That's why I think the value's there.
And the question with the 7 horse, who you like, Naples Princess, you're betting a horse of her best race and career, and that's often a good move.
Yeah.
There she is. It's been off since December of last year in her 2-year-old campaign, making her 3-year-old debut. Will she be ready to fire off the bench? She is 5 to 1 on the board. Favorite, however, the 10, dancing all night, the 5-year-old mare for the Shug McGahee barn, Phipps stable. With Hall of Famer John Velasquez aboard, there's the gray stepping in as the 1 to beat on the board. Let's send it upstairs to Larry Colmus for the call. Race 8 here from Saratoga.
Layla just a little bit hesitant to come up to the starting gate here, steps forward and now goes in, and the last one to load will be Quick. Taking the outside stall here, and they're all in line. They're off. Wisconsin Knight comes out quickly and takes the lead. Daniele's flashing some early foot as well, with Treasure in Heaven on the outside. And now splitting rivals, Katoria. They're being followed by Layla, Special Relativity, Quick, Dancing All Night, Naples Princess next. The Norma's Charm and Aunt Babe at the back of the pack. Past the half-mile pole, Katoria grabs the lead, runs a quarter in 22.42 seconds. Daniele is second on the outside, Wisconsin Knight third at the rail. And then it's Layla 4th in between horses. Treasure in Heaven is 5th on the far outside, just 2 lengths off the lead. Special Relativity is next. Dancing All Night, Quick on the outside. Naples Princess has the rail. Then it's Norma's Charm. Aunt Babe at the back of the pack. Katoria still on top here through a 46.12 half mile. Turning for home with the lead. Wisconsin Knight comes to an opening on the inside. Special Relativity's in with a shot. Dancing All Night 4th on the far outside. Katoria still there. Coming into the final furlong. Special Relativity runs at her on the outside. In the center, Naples Princess has kicked it in two and has taken 3rd, but it's Special Relativity. Special Relativity does it. Katoria was 2nd, and then it was Naples Princess and Wisconsin Knight.
Special Relativity, back-to-back win. She's now won 3 of her last 4 starts for Robertino Diodoro.
Claimed actually 3 starts back and showed big improvement today. Got a good pace set up. I give big credit to the 3, Katoria, who was the speed of the speed today and fought all the way to the wire.
I agree with all the things that Tom said there. Katoria ran too well to lose that race. This horse, Special Relativity, though, what we were talking about, Paul, horses coming off of the best career starts. And this is a much tougher field, and she got a sensational ride by David Cohen, but she stepped forward today.
Yeah, she did. You could see for a split second he had to stop for a tiny bit because he was absolutely loaded. And the 7 was loaded too, Naples Princess, on the complete outside, but just had too much to do in the center of the racetrack. And listen, an in-form horse at 5-1. It was a ridiculous price when she was about 10 to 12 to 1. The public ended up getting it right at the end.
4 looks like 3-7. I believe Katoria just holding off Naples Princess there. So a couple of 3-year-old fillies complete the exacta here in race 8.
Very good point. 3-year-olds this time of year, they start competing very favorably with older horses, not only in condition races like this, but in open stakes. That's why the Breeders' Cup at the end of the year, you often see the 3-year-olds win those big races against the older ones.
5-1 on Special Relativity here. She's now 2 for 2 at Saratoga. Both the wins come in this meet. David Cohen aboard for the winning ride. We're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, guys. Here with winning rider David Cohen. And David, Special Relativity is a filly that you've been aboard in the last couple starts for Robertina Diodoro. She took a big step up here today, though.
Yeah, you know, she definitely did. But first, I'd like to say congrats to Mike and Nicola Sisk. You know, they put a lot of great support into this game. So it's just nice to see them win. And, you know, Robertino's doing great with this horse. So she made a big step up, like you said. Last time I rode her, she made a great effort, and I really thought she was going to do the same thing today.
Well, you were right, spot on. I mean, talk about her development. I remember going back to Belmont. She was really kind of wound up that day, and today she was cool as a cucumber.
No, you're exactly right. You know, she's a little bit of a high-strung filly, but you just got to kind of let her do her thing and not get in her way. And today she was much more on the quieter side and definitely seemed to help out for the finish.
David, looking forward to this weekend. A huge field in the Woodward. You'll be aboard Imperative. What do you feel about his chances?
Well, I got on that horse last workout, and he really worked great. Definitely seemed to be on top of his game from what they say. You know, he's been around forever. So it looks like we should get a nice little pace, and he should be good to go. Hopefully we get lucky.
Certainly anybody's race coming up this weekend. David, congratulations here, though. Nice filly and Special Relativity.
Thank you, Maggie.
All right, guys. David riding at the top of his game for his main team in Robertina Diodoro.
Yes, he is. And the horse that Maggie mentioned, Imperative, coming off a year's layoff, graded stakes winner. We'll see if he can make a case in that big race over the weekend. 30-1 shot on the morning line. Robertina Diodoro, though, who David Cohen teams up with here, and Special Relativity gives Cohen his second winner on today's card. Our feature still to come, and that is the one to beat here. Pocket Change coming out of the Forbidden Apple when he was beat by Voodoo Song, who since that race has gone on to become a Grade 1 winner here at Saratoga. A lucky coin. Our feature race is coming up next.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast, a multiple Grade 1 winner and runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. This year, Flatter is adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record at stud. In the auction ring, Flatter topped the 2018 Fasig-Tipton July Seal with a $520,000 yearly. Success on the track, success in the ring. Flatter standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The three of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
Back on Saratoga Live. Good to have you with us on this Friday afternoon on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. David Cohen getting his second winner in the afternoon, presented a picture by New York Racing Association President and CEO Chris Kay, and with his family in the winner's circle, and there's a dancer in the family. Look at these moves put on.
All he's all he's missing is one of those
and Chris
pearl
Kay's got
gloves.
some moves.
That little kid had one of those
Very
pearl
Michael
gloves.
Jackson-like.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing there.
Move those feet.
I wouldn't call that a moonwalk, but maybe
it's a
close.
Saratoga shuffle.
There you go. I like that. Let's go with that.
Special relativity, $13.20. Robertino Diodoro, David Cohen, M&M Racing team up for the victory.
Big race by Special Relativity. Off the claim. It's always enjoyable for a trainer to claim one and win on the race, especially when you do it here at Saratoga. Look, that's nice. And he is one of those guys, Diodoro, that does win often off the claim.
Naira Betts, late pick 5, follow along again, $185,000 in the pool. And now our biggest number in the sequence after his fairly formful through the first 2 legs. You get a little separation here if you happen to have the 4 filly. Our feature race still coming up, race 9. It is the Lucky Coin, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Pocket Change coming out of the Forbidden Apple. Before that, Chase Disco Partner in the Grade 2 Jaipur. Disco Partner, of course, the world record holder at 6 furlongs on the turf. And now a drop in class and still facing a couple of really good runners in this spot.
Yeah, good enough that I'm surprised that Pocket Change is 3-2. I think there's some value to be had elsewhere.
You can play along on the Naira Betts app. Available in the App Store and for Android at nairabets.com. The quickest, most convenient way to bet and win at the races. So download it now and get involved and play along with Naira Betts. It has been quite a day, quite a meet for the meet's leading trainer, Chad Brown. 3 wins on today's card. That 3rd win that we just showed you equaled the all-time record here at Saratoga with 40 victories that he set a couple of seasons ago. Chad Brown tells us why it's so special to win here and why it's such a special place in general here at Saratoga.
You know, this is my hometown, my home track, and I have so many family and friends that, you know, support our stable throughout the meet, and many of which I don't really get to see unless it's during the meet here. And it's the best part about being here in Saratoga, catching up with people I haven't seen all year and hearing about how they, you know, they followed our stable and getting all the good wishes every day when we're walking to the races with our horses or morning visits to the barn. You know, Saratoga meet we look forward to every year. So my greatest memory isn't one particular event. Just in general, just growing up, coming here with my parents, sitting in the picnic area. In between my races, anyone who knows me close knows they can find me back in the picnic area. Now I go to the box seats and watch my races, but I prefer to be back there with my family. They still picnic back there, and I have a lot of friends that come and see me, and I think that picnic area at Saratoga is the best thing about the track. It's so unique to any racetrack where so many families and friends have their meeting spots every year that they get together and they see each other and get together. Saratoga brings a lot of people together. Winning that training title a couple years ago was a big deal for everyone associated with our stable, and particularly the local fans. I mean, for so many people to follow it every day, all during the meet, really rooting for us, rooting for the hometown guy, so to speak, and being able to deliver that, I think so far at Saratoga has been our greatest feat and our greatest sense of accomplishment, pride.
Oh, it is such a special place, and it's become his personal playground over the past 3 seasons. The run for 41, he's won away. He's equaled the record he set 2 years ago earlier on our show.
This is his playground. It's his sandbox, and he's throwing sand at everybody else that wants to try to take him on.
Well stacked Saturday to try and get that record, you think?
Yeah, and judging by the morning line odds, I'd say they're in the right spot. They usually are when they come out of his barn.
How long will it take him to get it done on Saturday? He's well stacked right off the bat in the opening race on the card. Of course, we'll follow along all day tomorrow. We have an early start time tomorrow as well. Just to remind everybody, we're on at 2:30 tomorrow on Fox Sports 2. We've got a long way to go here today, though. Just want to remind everyone and everybody else. So earlier than usual start time on Saturday for us. We're going to take a break. We got a lot more coming up. Our feature race still to come, including the story of the mutual teller. What exactly is it? You'll find out when we come back.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
I am Bobby Cummings, and I'm a mutual clerk for the New York Racing Association. I've been a mutual teller for 40 years. My favorite part of being a teller is probably the interaction with the people, especially here in Saratoga. You have people that come from all over the country. I've met friends now in Chicago, Los Angeles, Texas, the Carolinas, Florida, and it's, you know, every year I come back, and they do too, and it's a pleasure to see each other. We look forward to it. So it's really a personable business. Paying attention to the customer's needs, you know, if they need some information, you help them out. Some people here for the first time, they don't know what they're doing, so you tell them, here's how you bet. Try to explain it, try to make them comfortable. If they're happy, you're happy. Don't overthink it. Just tell the clerk, this is my first time here. They'll work with you. You know, they'll be happy to work with you. The amount that you're betting, the type of bet that you're betting, and then the horse number. It's pretty simple. It's some people, they come to the window and they're reading what's on the board, you know, amount, bet type, pool. Just say what's on your mind, and we'll walk you through it. And after the first 2 times, they're pros. The biggest tick I ever cashed for a customer was over $400,000. It was at Aqueduct. I believe it was the Santa Anita Derby. I believe it was a pick 6. And they were pretty happy, let me tell you.
Great attack on the outside. To the inside, spring to the sky, and right at the fence, strong impact. Go blue or go home fourth with 1 furlong to go. Spring to the sky, still there. And rejects the challenge of great attack. Strong impact will be third. Spring to the sky, in front all the way.
Well, that was from the archives 4 years ago. Spring to the Sky, winning the lucky coin. But guess what? He is back for more. The 9-year-old lining up in the race one more time, and he actually brings in decent form into this race.
He does. His last race was actually a very good one. Came around from last and didn't get any help for the pace. Rocket Heat, the 3-horse, set the pace on his own in that race. He looks great for a 9-year-old. I think the big question here, Greg, is as he gets older, is 5.5 furlongs becoming too short for him? Does he need a little time to get going? So a lot of pace in here would help. I don't know that we see that.
16-1 on the board on the former winner of this race. We're going to check in right now with Maggie Wolfendale. It's time for a paddock report brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Well, Greg, Rocket Heat and Pocket Change are flip-flopping favoritism back and forth here as we will check in with the first off the claim, last time out winner in Rocket Heat. Now, in the paddock on July 29th that day, he was touting himself as a winner and touting himself as the very likely and confirmed speed, at least from my perspective. He was on his toes, he was bouncing around, and I'll be honest, I had to search for him today. I was like, wait, that's Rocket Heat? He's done a 180. He's really quiet here in the paddock. Looks fine, looks terrific physically, but boy, he's behaving completely differently than what he was going back to his last race. On the towards the outside is number 7, Extravagant Kid, who is making his NYRA debut here for Brendan Walsh. Bit of a frustrating runner in that, you know, he's finished second from Brendan in 2 starts with huge numbers and huge races. Now, I don't know if you want to go by it, but he is a horse that does have a little bit of trouble pairing up back-to-back good races. But what I can say in watching them is that he prefers to be closer to the front end. If he's aggressively handled, it seems to get him his mind in the game, and he just performs in a much more gamer fashion overall. A little bit on the smaller side, but as I've always said, that's okay for a turf sprinter. He looks fantastic, though, and his coat and flesh just looks as though he's shipped over here from Churchill Downs in the right kind of way for his connections. And then another one that is shipping in here is number 4, Axtel, for Kevin Boniface. I know he does look slower on paper. I'm not denying that. But physically, he matches up quite nicely with the rest of his foes here. And maybe at a price, he'll be able to sneak into those exotics. Andy, who do you, I know, how do you feel about Pocket Change here? Obviously, the turnback's got to help him, right?
I think it does, Maggie. And, you know, and not only that, he just got such a silly ride last time out, being as far back as he was going along. He never had a chance in a slow-paced race against better horses, too. I just think the turnback has to help. I mean, he ran well in the Jaipur. I know a length and a quarter is a lot in a 6-furlong turf race, but you're talking about Disco Partner and those kind of horses. He's supposed to get the right outside trip, and I just think he's way the horse to beat.
Yeah, he is way the horse to beat. And as you look at the stat, I mean, every stat that Jason Service puts up is good, right? 30%.
Especially in turf sprints.
And he looks tremendous, the horse. And the outside draw is even better because the 7 Extravagant Kid's not fast. Actually, Big Rock might be able to show a tiny little speed. But we'll show you the Pocket Change video. And listen, he runs this race. It's a W.
Tell you, it makes you hearken for a nice winter December day at the Big A. I mean, if you just saw that and I didn't tell you it was December, nobody would believe it. Terrific outer course at Aqueduct. And he tipped his hand there, and he went down to Florida and ran very well at 5 furlongs. Focus Me, who he beat, is a talented runner. I thought his effort in the Jaipur was good. And Jason Service runs him sparingly. He looks for the right spots. He's pointing for this spot. Didn't run the much tougher Troy earlier at the meet. And I just think he's well posted towards the outside, and he's got the speed to put himself in the game if nobody goes with the 3 Rocket Heat.
Yeah, you make a great point. The 3 speeds in here are, well, there's 1 speed in here. Let's be honest. Rocket Heat is a bullet.
No Bolt Thunder for you?
Oh, yeah, Bolt Thunder is fast. But the thing about Rocket Heat is I don't know if anybody really wants to go with them, and if they do, then they're on a suicide mission.
He's quick.
Yeah, he's quick. Now, changes barns. Will he stick a little bit today? Michael Tenuzio is very, very sharp. I do think Big Rock, the 6, maybe be able to sit off, or you're like you said, Bold Thunder. But if they let him get away with this, he's going to do this again. But I don't see him getting away from this group.
Tougher spot that he's in here. Mike Tenuzio, people aren't familiar with him. He's trained in the New York area for a long time. He's had some horses on his own. He won with a horse named Senior's Pride a few years ago. He sometimes works with Jorge Navarro, but he's also recently been working for Bruce Levine. He's been around for a while. And don't see that name and say, oh, who's this guy? I've never heard of him. Mikey knows exactly what he's doing. It doesn't mean Rocky's going to win, but I wouldn't just go off this horse because I've never heard of Mike Tenuzio. Mike's very sharp. The 7 Extravagant Kid, you said to me, we were talking about it off camera, is Extravagant Kid dead on the board, or is he a big overlay here? I think he's a big overlay, but I'm surprised he's this price.
Yeah, I am a little bit surprised he's priced. Listen, after the claim for $75,000, he ran him on the dirt. He didn't like it. His 2 synthetic races are pretty good. He was behind Rocket Heat. And then last time out, he lost to Jazzy Times getting on the turf. I mean, that's pretty fast. I know the turf course at Ellis Park is very fast, but he's got some races you can go to that are not bad, and he likes to win races.
And Brendan Walsh's trainer does a good job. Ready for Rye. He caught a soft turf in the Troy against an arguably tougher field, but soft turf. He caught good turf when he ran the Elusive Quality. Is he a horse that has a chance going on? We're looking at the 7. I'm sorry. We're still on Extravagant Kid.
Yeah, sorry. No, Ready for Rye was a late scratch.
Oh, I apologize.
No, that's all right. No worries.
No, somebody told me he was running. Okay. I should have known that. Let's talk about Big Rock. You mentioned Big Rock having some speed.
Is he better off the pace? Is he better off the pace?
I think he is.
That's why I like him a little bit, because he cannot run with Rocket Heat. There's no shot early, right? So if the 2 Bold Thunder can get somewhat a pace on him, can Big Rock be the stalker?
I don't know. You know, it's
is he
a
good enough to
reasonable
pass,
question.
too?
He was in a race that it looks like a very fast pace at Belmont, but the turf was rock hard, and there really wasn't a ton of pace in there. I just wonder if he's as good as he was last year. That's my biggest concern with him.
That's a good point. The thing that you got to like about the 6 Big Rock, 3 of his 4 wins are here at Saratoga.
Yeah, that's a good point. He has run well here in the past.
Including 3rd here last year, there is Big Rock. Yeah, I started to think, well, maybe it's just a 3-horse race. And then you look at Big Rock's record here at Saratoga. Horse for course means something.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to be up close last time. I think that took him out of his game. I think Big Rock, the 6-horse, is a much better stalker. If you put a line through that race, you can make a strong case for the 6 Big Rock. And right now, the public thinks it's a 2-horse race between the 3 and the 8. So I'm looking elsewhere just to get some value.
Well, I mean, 6 to 1, I should say, on the 7-horse is way too big a price. So if you're looking for value on the board, would you say that's where it is?
Not for me. We talked about that horse at the beginning of the show. I think speed was enhanced that day at Ellis Park, so it actually made Extravagant Kids race look a little bit better than what it is. I like to go elsewhere over the 7.
All right, so if you think you want to go somewhere else besides the 2 favorites, where would you go?
Well, we talked about Big Rock, and I think he's an important horse in this race. I also think the old man, the 1, Spring to the Sky, his last race, he got no help from the pace. He was 4 lengths behind Rocket Heat. But if Rocket Heat takes some heat on the front end today, which he could, we could get the setup that looks really good for the 1-horse Spring to the Sky.
The 9-year-old, can he reach back, find a little more? He won this race, as we showed you back in 2014. There he is, just leaving our screen. There's Bold Thunder, the 2. The last couple of starts, he's shown no speed. He didn't get out great. He's got the speed rider back in the irons. We know how quick he's been in the past. So is Kendrick going to try and put all kinds of pressure on the horse next door, Rocket Heat?
Well, he's won a number of turf sprints, Kendrick has, this meet by using the tactics of get him out of the gate and go. He's that kind of guy. Nobody's better out of the gate than he is. With the trainer change and looking at those works, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if he decides to try to go. He needs to get back
He'll try.
Yeah, he needs to get back to last year's races. Those races are competitive.
Here is Spring to the Sky, the former winner of the race for Bruce Brown. The 9-year-old son of Langfair has Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard.
I always root for the old pro. I'm just wondering if he's still good enough to beat this group.
Bold Thunder, the 2. Kendrick Carmouche, we just showed him to you, has some very, very quick fractions in his past performances. He's now with Gary Siaka.
Yeah, everybody that's betting against Rocket Heat is rooting for Bold Thunder to show that early speed.
And here is Rocket Heat. He just might be too quick for this group. John Velasquez, Michael Tenuzio off the claim.
His game is to go fast early and try to outrun him and hold on. His last race was good.
Axtell for Kevin Boniface and Junior Alvarado rides 15 to 1.
You know, this horse comes out of the Highlander. Look at that middle split that he ran, 21 flat. So this horse by Tail of the Cat's got some lick too.
Big Rock is the 6 for Christophe Clement. He showed speed last start and backed up against Tomboline.
Yeah, Tom and I agree. We both agree this horse is better from off the pace, and I think today we'll get it. We'll see just if he's good enough. He does love this oval.
Extravagant Kid, 6-1 here. He was 3-1 morning line for trainer Brendan Walsh.
He's coming off a very good effort, and if there's a horse up there that I think is offering value, I believe it's Extravagant Kid as current 6-1.
He's a 2-time stakes winner on the turf as well. Here's the 8 Pocket Change, the morning line favorite, the current 8-5 choice for Jason Service.
Yeah, lightly raced 4-year-old, but has done some good work and back to sprinting where he's done, well, at least he's 2 for 4 overall, or 2 for 3 overall.
Our feature race, the Lucky Coin. We're approaching the 7-minute mark to post. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. The Speedy Rocket Heat. 9-5 on the board. Could have company, though, with a horse next door, the 2 Bold Thunder, who's a big price. Pocket Change, the 8 horse on the outside. The 3-2 favorite. We'll be back with our feature race from Saratoga next.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
There is no place like it. Opened in 1863, and in fact, that's the name of the new building that is going to be ready for next meet in 2019. Just past the wire here. Looking forward to that next season. I don't know if you'll be allowed in there, Tom.
That's all right. I'll take tradition. I like old racetracks with a lot of nooks and crannies, and this track has them.
Yes, it does. They're going to keep it, though, in the tradition of this racetrack as well to fit in. What a beautiful place this is. So much history. You really, I mean, you feel it when you walk in the doors here.
No doubt. You feel like you're going back in time, the Great Gatsby days.
Here's a look at the 8, and this horse is making a tremendous appearance. Pocket Change. Looks like he is on his toes. 7-5 favorite right now, cutting back in distance for Jason Service.
Cutting back in distance is going to probably try to show speed. He's got that outside post, which is a help. In a race that has what could be a bunch of horses trying to vie for the lead, if you're one of those horses, you would like to be outside looking in rather than crowded in between horses. I see speed from the 2 and the 3, maybe the 7, and as well as our favorite, the 8.
Yeah, I always like the outside post. It seems like with the turf sprinters, unless you have a lot of speed and you can clear from the inside, horses will often get shuffled out of position towards the inside post. It doesn't happen with the outside posts.
No, it doesn't. This horse has tactical speed, but Rocket Heat just has a lot of speed. So now you got to wonder, does Velasquez try to get away like he did last time? I think he does. I think he tries to just sprint as fast as he can from the get-go and let everybody use up their horse early. But the way the board is betting and the way the public is betting this 8 at 6-5 just makes me seem like this thing's going to jog.
Has the appearance, too, on track like he's going to jog as well. He looks tremendous here. Son of Unbridled Song, the 8 pocket change, our 6-5 favorite. We're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. And, last time out when Pocket Change tried to go further, go the mile in the Forbidden Apple, physically, he is a horse that is built to get a little more ground. And furthermore, he was actually pretty quiet. So that kind of spoke to the fact that he didn't break that well, him being a little more quiet than he usually is. But now, today, for this lucky coin, he is back to himself. He was on his toes in the paddock. He's gotten pretty, not wound up, just kind of well within himself and puffed himself up since he's gotten out here on the track. So I like that about Pocket Change. Much the horse to be, I think, in my opinion, here for this race. Now, another one that keeps winning me over at a price is number 4, Axtell in here. Junior Alvarado breaking away from the pony, and Axtell jumped into the bridle so much I heard Junior go, "Oh, whoa, buddy." So he got a pretty nice warm of his 2. He's not a horse that is afraid of being up towards the front end. I love the way he's handling himself, guys. This is definitely my long shot play in here with Axtell in this lucky coin.
And there's Junior Alvarado and the Silks of Eric Long. That would certainly spice things up in our Naira Bets late pick 5, 17-1 on this 5-year-old son of Tail of the Cat.
Look, a horse with a chance, right? But I keep going back to this 3-horse Rocket Heat and his price. He's 5-2 right now. Rocket Heat is what we call a one-dimensional speed horse. He has to clear the field to win his races. When you look at this race, if you're betting Rocket Heat, you're saying he is faster than everybody in this race, because if he gets challenged early, he goes out the back door. He wins one way, on the lead, and if he doesn't make the lead, he's not going to win. 5-2 is making me scratch my head. I can't go for that.
Well, Big Rock at 9-2 on the board for Christophe Clement. And this is one that Paul LaDuca decided to go with, and this is the horse for course, Paul.
Well, horse for course, number 1. And what Tom was saying, I do believe the 2 and the 3. I do think Rocket Heat's the speed, but he's going to have to work a little bit harder. And Big Rock has tremendous speed, but I just think he's better from a little bit off the pace. I don't see anybody launching from way back. Now, Pocket Change could just win here and win easy, but I do think the 6 sits the trip.
I'm never going to knock a price in here, though, 9-2. Do you think he'd be a shorter price, or do you think 9-2 is fair?
I thought 9-2, a little bit higher. I didn't think the 8 would be 6-5. Did you?
Well, I think he's about 7-5 in the line. So when I looked at it originally, I actually thought that the number 3 Rocket Heat, which Tom alluded to, would be a shorter price. I obviously misread that as well. I mean, the thing about the number 8 horse, when you look at Pocket Change, first of all, it's Jason Service, but he's also dropping out of stake races.
True.
Plus, by a length and change to Disco Partner, who, when he's good, is the best turf sprinter in the country. So I guess it's not that surprising.
Oh, and the way that he's looked on the track, too, he looks like he is ready to go. You were getting angry up here, Tom, at the price of the 3 Rocket Heat.
Well, I mean, come on, Greg. I mean, you could look at it. There's tactical speed, such as our outside horse, the 8 horse, and then there's one-dimensional speed. And I'm not saying Rocket Heat can't win, but the only way he can win is by making the lead. Look for John Velasquez on the 3 Rocket Heat to ride very hard out of the gate and try to clear this group.
He's got to get the front. He won by 4 lengths, though, on this turf course, going 5.5. That is not easy to do, to get that kind of separation in a race like this. It's our feature race, the Lucky Coin. Here's Larry Colmus with the call.
They're all in line. They're off. In the Lucky Coin. Extravagant Kid goes out to the front. Pocket Change on the outside. It's these 2 are out for the early lead together. 2.5 lengths to Spring to the Sky and Big Rock. Rocket Heat did not make the lead today. He's been taken back and sits 5th, 6 lengths from the front. and it's Bold Thunder. Axtel's at the back of the pack as they duke it out up front. Pocket Change and Extravagant Kid are right together on the lead. These two by a 21.68 opening quarter mile. Spring to the Sky is 4 lengths off of them. Big Rock is next. Rocket Heat 3 wide on the far turn. Then Axtel and Bold Thunder. It is Extravagant Kid and Pocket Change, and they turn for home together. Pocket Change trying to shake away here. Extravagant Kid cuts the corner on the inside. Big Rock is third, then Spring to the Sky. Rocket Heat down the middle, and Axtel, final furlong. Extravagant Kid keeps on battling on the inside. Pocket Change is there. Big Rock is trying to close down the center, then Spring to the Sky. Extravagant Kid, Pocket Change. Extravagant Kid would not be denied. Pocket Change was second, Spring to the Sky was third, and Big Rock was fourth.
Extravagant Kid holds off Pocket Change for the victory here in the Lucky Coin. This was a gritty effort for this trainee from Brendan Walsh.
It was a very gritty effort from the 7 Extravagant Kid as well as the 8 Pocket Change. These two blistered on the front end. In the last eighth of a mile, they did it on sheer determination and guts. They were waiting for somebody to close. They were getting tired. Big ride from Jose Ortiz carrying the 7 Extravagant Kid across the line this last 16th of a mile.
I'd like to look at the head on the start if we could, because it doesn't seem like Rocket Heat got out that sharply. I didn't see him steady and didn't see him break that slowly, but clearly that changed the race. And for turf sprinters, I'm going to differ a little with Tom. The course has some give in it, so they were moving, but the 2 speeds, but maybe Paul, the 2 best horses just ran 1-2.
Yeah, Extravagant Kid, I thought Pocket Change had him the whole way around, and the brothers are going to duel here all the way down the lane. But we talked about this horse, 7-1 at one time, and then goes off at 9-2 and holds off Pocket Change. But you're right, Rocket Heat changed the whole dynamics of this race. I wonder what would have happened if Extravagant Kid, or he would have backed up or not. But he noticed that the 3 didn't break and took advantage.
And how about the old man, guys? Spring to the Sky, getting up to complete the trifecta here at 20-1. Previous winner of this race 4 years back. But it's Extravagant Kid with the victory. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, guys. And Jose Ortiz aboard Extravagant Kid for the win here today. Good thing Brendan Walsh getting his first victory of the meet, and better late than never. But Jose, this is a horse that when you watch his replays, he does do his best running when he's aggressively handled from the get-go. Is that what you felt today?
Yeah, we thought a horse inside of us had more speed than we did, but I mean, he broke really well, and I wasn't afraid to take the lead. I mean, they let me go, and the 8 horse put me pressure the whole way, but this horse fight, and just glad, very happy for Brendan and the owners that give me the opportunity, so we get the W today.
Yeah, I'm sure they're very happy as well, Jose. Doing battle with your brother the whole way around there, do you ever kind of look over and say, hey, that's Irad over there?
Not really. I ride my horse, concentrate on riding my horse, and like I say, I'm very happy we get the win.
Well, Jose, congratulations. Looking forward to a big weekend as well, but congrats here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, guys, it was all about Extravagant Kid. He was extravagant on that front end. He would not be denied.
This was a big effort here from this 5-year-old, and it's got to feel extra special for Jose. These 2 brothers are so competitive. They're 2 of the best riders in the entire country. Of course, Jose, our reigning Eclipse Award-winning rider, but his older brother, the leading rider at the meet, and they run 1-2 around the track. Let's go back to the start here, and they're both on the outside.
Let's watch this 3 horse we thought would make the lead in here. He's got the white shadow roll on and the pink silks.
Yeah, came out a little slow, and they just slammed into 2. The 4 horse outside of him, Axtel came over, and it was just over for him.
Pinballed a little bit.
You got to break sharp, or you got no shot in these races, especially
That's exactly
like
right.
that.
Look, if you lose a position out of the gate, they're going to take it from you. Especially, look, these guys know what each horse is capable of and what their style is. I mean, you break a half step slow, it's show over.
Extravagant Kid picks up his 3rd stakes win on the turf. Jose Ortiz, trainer Brendan Walsh, and Dars Incorporated. We'll be back to set up the nightcap next.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast, a multiple Grade 1 winner and runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. This year, Flatter is adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record at stud. In the auction ring, Flatter topped the 2018 Fasig-Tipton July sale with a $520,000 yearling. Success on the track, success in the ring. Flatter standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Off the turn with a link to the half lead. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, Extravagant Kid coming in from Ellis Park. You can win coming in from Ellis. You can also go from Saratoga and win at Ellis, Serengeti Empress. But in this moment about Extravagant Kid, nice filly that Tom Amos, of course, trains, who's going to be trying to punch a ticket to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. But Extravagant Kid, well done here. This was a big effort, holding off pocket change for the victory. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, guys. And here with James Breeden, racing manager for owner David Ross. And James, this is a horse that we were just talking was 25-1 when you guys claimed him.
A very astute claim on David Ross as well. It was all David's idea. I couldn't see it, but he insisted, and we dropped the slip, and you know, here winning stakes in Saratoga. So smart claim.
Definitely, and ran a 102 the day you claimed him, but he's a horse that's proficient on any surface, also running a 104 when he ran second on the synthetic.
Yeah, it was a frozen track that day up at Woodbine. I think he really likes the sound surface, but he got very close to Pink Lloyd.
He did, and talk about his running style. It seems as though when he's closer to the pace is when he really puts in a big fight.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there was more speed in this race than it showed. I was surprised he was on the lead, but he battled tenaciously down the lane.
And James, how many horses does Mr. Ross have that under your tutelage?
We got about 20 at the moment, split between Mike Stidham and Brendan Walsh.
Well, it was a nice way for Brendan to pick up his win of the Saratoga meet.
Thanks a lot. Good job, Brendan.
Yes, we are all Brendan cheerleaders here, guys, in the winner's circle with Extravagant Kid.
Thank you, Maggie. Yeah, this was a big performance. And what a claim. Wow. Since that claim, this is the first victory, but has been second in a couple of stakes. Woodbine on synthetic, and then at the turf at Ellis last time out, and now a stakes victory on horse racing's premier stage at Saratoga as we look at the Naira Bets Late Pick 5. Follow along, and another number in here, Extravagant Kid at $11. That's going to play real big.
It is. There's our friend. We've been seeing him a lot, Greg. See him perched up on top of Saratoga, overlooking the crowd,
Yes.
letting us know he's there.
Yeah,
He'll holler at you.
You pointed him out to me. So where our set is, he kind of perches up above where Larry Colmus calls the races. This is his house. It's Chad Brown's house first. It's his house second.
I tell you what, I'll take him over Chad Brown if it comes down to a fisticuffs.
Our nightcap still to come. That's us. Hey, everybody. Having a good time up here with a great vantage point of all the races. We can actually peek into Larry's booth and see him calling the races too. But yeah, this guy's become our friend here at the meet. I want to say it's a red-tailed hawk. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm going to give you that because I really don't know, but I know he's beautiful.
25,000 claiming race for non-winners at 2 lifetime in our finale here on this Friday afternoon. It's 7 furlongs coming up. We talked about it going in at the start of the show. Timeless Beauty, we all thought the horse to beat for Robertino Diodoro. He also has the 4 in here as well, and both first off the claim for him.
So this is a race that, with the non-winners of 2 conditions, sometimes you're looking for less starts rather than more starts. Horses that are just gaining experience rather than horses that have had a lot of experience. The 2, Timeless Beauty, a very good winner last time, but it was in the mud, and he had a good trip that day.
We're going to take a break. Ooh, and in-flight, in action, and I bet he's coming up to the perch to see us.
Yeah, check him out.
He knows
that
we're
is
buds.
too cool. Why do you think... Hey, Andy, I wanted to give you the bird. I don't know if he's gotten that before. I think he has.
Our show brought to you in part each and every day by champion sprinter Run Happy. There he is in the farm in Paris, Kentucky at Claiborne. Never lost during his entire career as a sprinter, and he did it all while running without the addition of Lasix medication. King's Bishop right here at Saratoga, one of his best moments. Of course, the Breeders' Cup Sprint wasn't bad either. We'll be back.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Yeah. Shake it, shake it, shake it down now. Make it, we make a world sound. 'Cause we're wild and we're free and we're dancing the whole day long. So wake up and get out and be free and keep moving it on.
Version is right here. Sal Governale from the Howard Stern Show.
So get rockin' and get happy. We gon' work it, we ain't needing nobody. So move over, I'm no shadow. We gon' do it like we do in a battle. Shake it, shake it, shake it down now. Make it, we make a world sound. 'Cause we're wild and we're free and we're dancing the whole day long. So wake up and get out and be free and keep moving it on. Put it up, shake it up and make a sound now. Pick it up, shake it up and make it louder. 'Cause we're wild and we're free and we're dancing the whole day long. We make a world sound.
Oh no, we have a man down in the paddock. Oh, everybody having a great time. They have been all summer long here at this Saratoga meeting, and maybe no one more than Robert LaPenta, who took the Run Happy Travers with Catholic Boy, canoe painted in his silks, and they're going to be there until next year this time. Closing weekend stake schedule. We're going to close in a big way. Glens Falls, Saranac, Spinaway, Woodward on Saturday, Prioress on Sunday, and Monday, Voodoo Songback in the Bernard Baruch. And the Grade 1 hopeful for 2-year-olds worth $350,000. Grade 1 Spinaway, though, coming up on Saturday. And the half-sister to American Pharaoh, the Triple Crown champion for Bob Baffert, making her way back to Saratoga after an impressive debut at Del Mar.
Man, oh man, did she look good at Del Mar back in late July. Ridden ultra confidently by Mike Smith that day. Didn't have to do a lot to get the win. Went very, very fast, and as a big favorite. So obviously her practice rounds showed what she was going to be.
Bob Baffert says doesn't look a whole lot like American Pharaoh. Kind of looks more like her mom. But when she gets on the racetrack, just like Pharaoh, she is all business, and she gets to it. So we'll see. Excited to see what she does here in start number 2 as we look at the field here for the Spinaway. And she is 5-2 on the morning line. Bob Baffert, Mike Smith, but plenty of other runners in this loaded field, guys, in the Spinaway.
It's a really interesting race, and no one's going to tell you Chasing Yesterday isn't the horse to beat. But I'm also going to tell you she's not going to be 5-2.
No, she's not.
With Bob Baffert and the American Pharaoh, she's going to be a heavy favorite. I'm going to tell you something. Both Nona Madeline, who got left in there, but got a good trip thereafter, but especially Catherine the Great. They were sensational on opening day here. It's hard to believe this was opening day, but I'm going to tell you something. Catherine the Great was one of the best 2-year-olds we've seen the entire meeting, and I think that Chasing Yesterday could have her hands full with that rival.
Yeah, I'm with you. This great filly bite uncaptured, she just lowered her head, and I like the way she finishes right here. I mean, she is straight and strong, and it's a nice effort. And I think that the 7 for Bob Baffert's going to have to improve a tiny bit, shipping over here to beat this filly. And, there's some other ones in here. The Kenny McPeak filly on the outside of the 11, Restless Rider, I would want, I know that Tom showed me her last race. I would take a look at that one.
And I'll tell you something else. There is the possibility that Catherine the Great and Chasing Yesterday hook up in this race, which could very much benefit a horse like Restless Rider.
Well, Tom, you are very high on this filly. She raced at Churchill Downs. She was a short price favorite. She had trouble, all kinds of it. Still won impressively here.
Yeah, I think the first half of the race is actually more impressive than what we're looking at right here, which is her destroying a stakes group at Churchill Downs. She is behind a pace setter that ends up pulling up. She loses all ability and speed right there. Almost goes to a walk. Recovers quickly and absolutely destroys a stakes caliber field of fillies at Churchill Downs. Trip handicappers are going to be all over her tomorrow.
She's sent out by Kenny McPeak, of course, won the Alabama here at the meet. Brian Hernandez Jr. will be aboard. He's been aboard for the first 2 starts of her career as well. So she should get plenty of attention. But, of course, the half to American Pharaoh for Bob Baffert going to take all the attention in that race. That will be a good one. That precedes the Woodward. Back-to-back grade 1s on the card tomorrow afternoon. As we still have one more to come here today. We have the finale coming up at 7 furlongs here. Claiming race for non-winners of 2 lifetime. Remember, get signed up, get started, play along. $200 new member bonus when you use that promo code Saratoga Live. It is time for a Paddock Report right now as you look at the favorite Timeless Beauty. We're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale. It's brought to you by Hillandale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Well, Greg, the likelihood that Robertino Diodoro picks up another win to finalize this card is very likely. It's probably going to happen, as we'll take a look at number 2, Timeless Beauty, and she'll go first off the claim off the back of a win where she was convincing after she got that needed drop in class to the 20. And again, she's a sharp horse in here. Looks as though she's actually put on a little more muscle mass overall, and she, to me, just looks like much the horse to beat in this spot. As we'll check out number 5, Problem Solving, the first horse of 2 that are going from turf to dirt that I'll talk about here. But Problem Solving for Charlie Baker, she got okay towards the springtime, and the 7 furlongs I think is actually ideal, as this is the furthest that she's gone yet in her career, but she is that longer type of bodied. So getting back to the dirt fits as well, and she's just really fit heading into this. Now number 3 is Claire's Kitty. She will turn back in distance, and that's okay. The 7 furlongs looks okay. Looks better to me than what she did back here in July 25th, and obviously did not take to especially a yielding turf course. But another one that's just in a logical spot. But Andy, am I right in saying Timeless Beauty is the horse to beat here?
You know, it's a good question, Mag. She's favored. I think the question really is Timeless Beauty one to beat? I suppose. But the problem is also her best race was on a muddy sealed track. And once again, you're taking a favorite. Listen, it's good. You know, I'm not knocking Mary Contessa. Robertino Diodoro is very well off the claim. But is she going to be as good on a dry track? And is she really a better bet at 2-1 than the other Diodoro horse, the 4, Heaven's Creation, also off the claim at 4-1? That's also another question.
Yeah, that's true. Now, are you betting the 2 off that? You like the 2 off the last race in the mud, or are you liking the 2 off the 2-year-old numbers?
Well, I'd say you could look at both of them. I mean, the fact is, and I would also argue it just quickly as we talk about the 2 Timeless Beauty, just for 1 second. Maybe she really just wanted to sprint. Maybe a mile was a little bit far, but she went 6 last time at 7 today. I have no problem with Timeless Beauty. I think she's one of the worst to beat, but I think Heaven's Creation. Here's the thing with me. If you're going to say, do you want a horse stretching out a furlong or do you want a horse cutting back? You know me. I love turnbacks.
Yeah, I get where you're going in the cutback of the 4. So we'll show you Timeless Beauty on the mud. And it was a muddy racetrack. Yeah, there's a lot of moisture on it. So it's tough to judge whether she's going to be better on a dry racetrack or not. So I sort of went back to her races when she was a 2-year-old, and I'm hoping that she can get back to those. You know what I mean?
It's not as though she was a joke on dry tracks and she never ran well before. There's an argument that she was probably one of the worst to beat last time out. I don't know. I bet doubles. I decided to take a shot and use one of them in the double, and I used the 4 Heaven's Creation, basically because I think that she's a better bet at twice the price.
Well, I get where you're going. Listen, she broke her maiden from the 12 post, going a mile and a 16th to Keeneland. Then her next race is a mile. 1 turn mile, and she lost to a horse that's won, I think, 3 or 4 times after that, and that was a good race. So maybe she's always wanted to sprint in Heaven's Creation. And listen, this looks like a race that could fall apart, and the 4 could be picking up the pieces.
And she's not going 6. She's going 7 furlongs.
Yes.
Now, the 5-horse Problem Solving, the 7 furlongs becomes a bit of a question for her, though she's obviously closing those distances. Doesn't appear to be a big problem. I think her races 3 and 4 back can get the money here. Her race 2 back, tougher field. She didn't run well, but it was a much tougher group.
I give Charlie Baker credit. This horse broke her maiden in a 6-horse field. But my worry is 35 cents on the dollar in a Chad Brown barn on December 22nd in Aqueduct, and this horse could not win. Not for me.
I still try to figure out who was taking $2.70 to win on a Chad Brown maiden claimer in the middle of December at Aqueduct. I said it that day. I didn't like paranoia. I'm going to say she was best that day. She had a bit of an excuse. Number 8, she's a kitty cat. Jose Ortiz has the mount here. I think Jimmy Ferraro is one of these guys who is an underrated trainer who doesn't have the horses very often to compete at the highest level. He does a great job. And what's wrong with her last effort? I mean, you could argue that Beautiful Buzz would be a heavy favorite near the horse that beat her.
Yeah, she came from way back, and she actually made a really good move. Elizabeth Nicole came back to win, the 3rd-place finisher. Winston K won on her at Aqueduct in April.
And that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, and her last 2 efforts have been good into not great pace races, but I think the 7 furlongs will be okay for her.
I don't think she's impossible either. I don't think Claire's Kitty's impossible either. One thing that bothers me about Claire's Kitty, and I like the turf to dirt move with her, Philip Bauer, his horses have not run that well at Saratoga. I don't want to knock him, he's a good trainer, but his horses have not done well.
Yeah, they haven't, but he's a good conditioner. And I'd like to ask Tom, I mean, the key, this is a horse that won a 1-turn mile at Churchill Downs. You would know better than us how good that race is. And he did get another work, at least over the main track here.
Yeah, so if you look at this horse's second start, Claire's Kitty, you see the winner, Pearl's Opinion. That's my horse that beat her. Came back and won an allowance race right after that. Pearl's Opinion in this race would be 4 to 5. So if you knock out that one turf race of Claire's Kitty, our 3-horse, and you look at those other races, particularly the 1-turn races, which that was on that particular day, Claire's Kitty makes sense in here. But I do believe that for anybody to beat Timeless Beauty in this spot, they better be tactical, because I don't see a lot of speed in here. Timeless Beauty's going to be close. To overtake her, you're not going to come from well back to do it.
There's the 2-to-1 choice as they make their way onto the track. If pressure going to be put on, if anyone does it, it's going to be the 6, right?
Yeah, I mean, that horse doesn't look logical at all. That horse has been running some very, very weak races at Finger Lakes. But, yeah, I think the 6 could show some minor speed.
33-1 on that horse, who's going to try and cause some problems perhaps for the 2-horse. Just leaving your screen there, the favorite up front early on in this race. As we get set for our post parade here coming up, and there's Claire's Kitty. So faced a Tom Amoss filly, start number 2 of her career. She was no match for that one. We start things off with another long shot here inside. You promised 40-1 Abel Lescano aboard.
Yeah, she would have to improve significantly off her best race at the Super.
Her only win came on a muddy racetrack at Belmont as well. Here's our favorite, Timeless Beauty. Off the claim for Robertino Diodoro. David Cohen having a big day.
Yeah, and she looks the part. Got the win last time out. Now she's got to face winners for the first time.
Good for his 3rd winner today, David Cohen. Claire's Kitty. Luis Saez riding for Phil Bauer.
Great points by Tom Amoss about her effectiveness in their 1-turn races. Eliminate the others, and she looks a lot better.
Heaven's Creation, the other Robertino Diodoro, also just claimed, and Ricardo Santana Jr. rides.
Yeah, look for her late. You know, they got the 2-punch. Look for the 2 to go to the front end, and the other Diodoro to come from way out of it.
Problem solving, 9-2 here on this filly by Algorithms for Charlie Baker.
She makes a certain amount of sense if you look at her dirt races. Once and then, another horse going turf to dirt.
Rapid Route, and here's the one coming in from Finger Lakes. Andy Hernandez rides. Andy Hernandez Sanchez, excuse me.
Yeah, Alejandro Memo. By the way, he's got 3 wins on the year. 2 of them are here, so I guess he was waiting for this meet.
It's like the speed.
Maz Mania, Gary Siaka, Dylan Davis.
Another horse who appears to be a bit overmatched off her best races, and her 1 win was a sloppy sealed track.
7-2, she's a kitty cat who has a start here at the meet for James Ferraro.
Yeah, she's a kitty cat. Couple good 2nd place finishes, and maybe she's knocking on the door.
And this horse actually working well on the outside. Carlisle Bell for Gary Siaka.
Carrying those silks of Steve Bick's DT stable. Steve was presenting the trophy for the previous race. I don't think he'll be getting it after this race, but I hope I'm wrong.
We shall. That's not an angle. Present the trophy in the feature. Win the last.
Apparently not. If you've heard Andy on the Steve Bick Show, you would know that's not an angle.
By the way, 2 horses result in the pick 6 getting hit today, as you can see. The 2 Robertino Diodoro horses, the 2 and the 4. Everybody else carries this over.
Wow. Wow. What does that say for our pick 5?
We'll take a look at those numbers. When we come back, I'll have them for everybody. We're going to take a quick break. We'll return. Finale coming up next.
This 3-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up with the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Now the excitement is building as his first foals have arrived this year. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by Distorted Humor. Ironicus, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Saratoga Live, our finale coming up. We're just 4 minutes to post. And it is Timeless Beauty, the 2-to-1 favorite on the board, has been favored throughout here in this final race on the card. And it really looks like that barn of Diodora holds strong cards here to close out things on this Friday afternoon as we check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
You're exactly right, Greg. As I'll take a look at his other horse in here, that's number 4, Heaven's Creation, as she will turn back off the claim. Now, what I can say is that she is awfully sharp from the word go of stepping into the paddock to out here on the racetrack. She's gotten herself very keyed up, and I don't mind it considering she's turning back here a bit, but still a bit more nervous energy than I'd like to see. Gotten a little hot, and that started all the way back in the paddock as well. And also here, she does put on those front bandages off the claim. For me, I just feel a little more comfortable in taking your current favorite in Timeless Beauty. Now, number 8 is She's a Kitty Cat, who will be trying to get the 7/8, and I don't see anything preventing her from doing so. She's a little more quiet, actually, than I've seen in the past. This is the furthest she'll go in her career. And, you know, it's an old saying I heard once upon a time. Mrs. Mays, I should say, had 9 kids, but only 1 Willie. This one, a 3/4 sister to my husband's Grade 1 winner in Have You Gone Away, who won the ballerina here, Tom. But were you interested in number 4, or were you kind of cautious about Heaven's Creations putting those front bandages on as well?
I'm with you 100%, Maggie. First off the claim, this horse made a big drop last time, was a big favorite, didn't run a good race. Diodoro reached in and took her. He's got 4 bandages on her today. Watching her warm up, I don't care for the way she's warming up in this spot here. So, to me, this is a big negative. You know, you can't get in someone's barn and know what's going on, but when you can see outward signs, the 4 bandages, which is not a Diodoro move. He didn't do it with Timeless Beauty, the 2-horse in this race, and you're seeing her get a little hot there. I'm looking at a horse that I believe is pretty anxious.
So 4-to-1 on the other Diodoro horse. Meanwhile, Paul, you're with his main shot here, the 3-year-old filly by New Year's Day, who's been favored throughout. She dropped into the lowest level she'd been at yet, and she got the job done and broke her maiden.
Yeah, and I just love that her races when she was a 2-year-old match up, and she might have grown up a little bit. Now, I get that she broke her maiden for 20, but I love that they put her in at a reasonable spot. And usually when you get into these races, you want to try to find out who broke their maiden at the best spot. I get she was in for maiden 20, but she did it the right way. And I'm looking at a different horse for me on the racetrack, and that's why she's the favorite.
Public agrees.
No, they do indeed. And I look, someone has to step up to beat Timeless Beauty, and I do believe that it's going to have to be someone that's laying in proximity to where the 2 Timeless Beauty is in the race, which is either going to be on the lead or close.
I got to think the 6 Rapid Route, who does feel like she's overmatched in this race, is supposed to be the speed. We'll see if Andy Hernandez coming in from Finger Lakes can get her the lead, but I don't disagree. I think both Timeless Beauty and the 4 Heaven's Creation, both these horses should be somewhat forwardly placed.
Rapid Route, by the way, and I think Andy's right on it. She's going to be the quickest one in here. She actually broke her maiden at Belmont for State Bred 50 maiden claiming.
Yeah, look, I think she's going to show brief speed. I mean, it comes down to some class, right? I mean, this is a filly got beat for 7,500 non-winners of 2. Ran second competitive, but even though this is the bottom at Saratoga in terms of the non-winners of 2 divisions, 16, 25, that area, these are much better races than Finger Lakes non-winners of 2, 7,500. So when class meets speed, sometimes speed disappears.
We've seen some Finger Lakes shippers, though, come in here and win.
For sure. I just don't think this is the right.
But yeah,
the right
usually they
race
get
to
at
do
least
it in.
a little attention on the board.
Yeah.
This one at 42-to-1 certainly is not. But sometimes if you can get separation, field like this of non-owners of 2 lifetime, you can break their heart.
Yeah, I'm looking very carefully at this 3-horse. She goes in the gate. I want to see where she's positioned early. We'll have a lot to say about how she runs at 6-to-1.
Gate open on the 7 to get that one in, and that is Mazmania. Another huge price here for Gary Siaka. Steps in favorite, the 2, Timeless Beauty. Let's send it upstairs to Larry Colmus.
Carlisle Bell coming up to the outside stall here will be the last one to load. Comes forward and in. They're all in line. They're off. And it's Rapid Route. Out quickly for the lead. Heaven's Creation, and on the outside, She's a Kitty Cat. as the field heads up the backstretch. It is Rapid Route. She's a kitty cat. 2.5 lengths now ahead of Timeless Beauty, who's come through on the inside to fight for third position up the backstretch. And right in there, too, is Mania and Heaven's Creation as well as they continue up the backstretch. Claire's Kitty's in that bunch, too. 2.5 lengths back to You Promise, who's down on the inside. And then comes Carlisle Bell and Problem Solving at the back. 23.75, the opening quarter mile. She's a kitty cat on the outside by a neck. Rapid Route running in second by a length and a half. Heaven's Creation is third. Then it's Mania, followed by Timeless Beauty, who's down toward the inside in fifth, 2.5 lengths off the lead. Carlisle Bell is next. And then comes You Promise on the inside as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. In the back of the pack, Problem Solving has gone by Claire's Kitty, who's gone to the back of the field. 47.2 the half. They're into the stretch here, and She's a Kitty Cat turns for home in front. Rapid Route on the inside is there. On the outside comes Timeless Beauty now. Timeless Beauty up to engage the leader and take over. Timeless Beauty has taken the lead. She's a Kitty Cat back into second. Rapid Route is third, and then You Promise, but it's Timeless Beauty. Timeless Beauty and David Cohen wins another. She's a Kitty Cat was second. Rapid Route was third, and You Promise was fourth.
3 for David Cohen today. Timeless Beauty. Robertino Diodoro off the claim. Favorite closes things out. Bet down to 3-2 at post time.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Look, a very controlled pace set by Rapid Route, the 6-horse, as well as She's a Kitty Cat, the 8-horse. But Timeless Beauty was in perfect position at the head of the stretch. Class tells here she's going to draw off from this group.
Yeah, she got a perfect trip and a perfect ride from David Cohen. And I want to mention Heaven Creation. It's a very good thing, you and Maggie talking, Tom and Maggie, about putting the fronts on, because she was bearing out badly in the stretch and ended up finishing last in this race. But Timeless Beauty, good trip or not, she was just best.
Yeah, it really was 3-2. And give up a little love for the 6. Alejandro Memo, like I said, with the 6 at 43-1. And here's the start. And do we see anything?
Broke a little slow. She broke about a half slow in here, but Cohen got her right in a good position. He saved the ground, the turn, got the right trip. And we said Rapid Route with the speed, get third.
Yeah, and the reason why I mentioned Rapid Route, guys, Fast Bullet passed away way too young, and he's only had probably maybe 10 foals that are going to make it to the racetrack. So the 6 is one of them, and obviously she outran her odds today, but take nothing away from the favorite.
No, Timeless Beauty, this is a big performance, especially with that start here in 3-2 in the end. 2-8, 6-1 finish. You create some value there underneath as well with a 43-1 shot and a 64-1 shot completing your superfecta.
And then that's where you want to be. It's a shame that the second favorite ran second, because those are big prices in third and fourth.
So 3-2 favorite closes out the card. Let's head downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, guys, and please be joined here by trainer Robertino Diodoro, picking up second win here on the card with Timeless Beauty. A filly you picked up for 20 off the layoff. Did she just make that much sense to you, picking her up for that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, for 20,000, I thought she was well worth it, and I think you know, we got lucky today. This race she was in the right spot today. David gave her a great ride too, so.
Speaking of great rides, certainly gave Special Relativity a great ride as well for her second win up here. This is one you also picked up in a claiming race, but she's now a starter allowance and now an allowance race. I mean, talk about her development with you.
Yeah, I give Cody Autry a lot of credit. He's the one that picked her out, and no, she's a very nice filly, a big, good-looking filly, and she's going in the right direction right now for sure.
Do you think about a second level allowance with her next?
I definitely think so. Like I said, she's just she's getting better and better, really. In the mornings and the afternoons, she's just developing into a nice filly.
Seems like an exciting one for you to have. Congratulations with both your wins here today.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
He's had a great meet, and this was a nice claim. This one ran here back on August the 3rd for Gary Contessa. Got a maiden-breaking win, and claimed, moving to Robertino Diodoro's barn, and back-to-back wins now for two different barns.
Yeah, no, he does it well. He plays the claiming game very, very well, and he does it all over the country.
3-win day for David Cohen, hopping off. Timeless Beauty right there wins as the favorite here to close out this card. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. More to come here on this Friday edition of Saratoga Live. Stick with us.
the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bal Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibras. Last year, his 2-year-old sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Saratoga Live. Timeless Beauty heading back to the barn after getting claimed by Robertino Diodoro and getting a victory. Now the big question remains, is he going to keep this filly?
Yeah, good point. You know, this is a very active claiming environment here at Saratoga, and rarely if you run them for claim and they look like the right horse, do they come back to your barn.
Take a look at the Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along. We'll see how it played out in here. Favorite wins the last. But we had some prices in the middle of the sequence here with Special Relativity, Extravagant Kid, in our feature Race in the Lucky Coin. Not bad.
No, I'll take it. 2,400 to 1 odds on a 50-cent bet. Yeah, I'll take that.
Saratoga Showdown, Nadine, best of the bunch on this Friday afternoon. Creighton, $254. Well done. When we're done, there's more to go after with Naira Bets. 250,000 point all split at Del Mar. West Coast just getting going with that laced post on Fridays out of Del Mar. Race 5, $10 exacta, and you'll split 250,000 points regardless of winning or not. Coming up this weekend, of course, guys, looking forward to a lot of big racing here on this Saturday with, of course, the Woodward, our premier event.
No, this is going to be terrific racing here. I mean, this weekend, we've still got some serious racing. 35 races left at the Saratoga meet. It's actually 4 days worth of racing in 3 days. And the last race of the day, the Glens Falls, 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf. Santa Monica is probably the biggest one of the big 3 for Chad Brown. But On the Moon, again, was a horse we've seen on this show. And she lost to Danceland, who's also in the race. But Javier Castellano made one of his few mistakes the entire meeting when he sort of dove down the rail with her, excuse me, in the late stages. And she ended up getting completely sawed off. She would have won this race and won it handily. And I think she's going to appreciate more distance, and she has a good chance to beat Santa Monica.
Yeah, look at the horse on the rail. Javi thought he had a little bit of space, but it gets closed off right here in a split second. You're going to see the horse on the inside just stop right now. And so that's what happened. Trying to kick through the hole, and the horse just didn't get through the hole. But again, it looks like Chad Brown is loaded, and he might run 1-2. Maybe 1-2-3 in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the horse on the outside, Lady Montador, we've seen the show as well, has a chance in there also.
Yeah.
But Chad holds an awfully strong hand in there, and if he hasn't broken the record by then, he'll probably do it in the last. But my guess is he might get one of his other 10 horses home earlier in the card.
No, the thing is now is I know the run for 41 is going to be over. Like, he's got a legitimate shot. I know it's crazy. He could get to 50.
We'll see what happens. He's got an army of horses. As we said yesterday, it feels like he has a machine gun and he's firing horses at everybody.
Not fun to be other trainers here at this meet. There's been a little bit of well spread around, but he obviously has turned this into just his own personal playground and setting a new, equaling a new record that he set a couple of years ago. He has a chance to break it with the very first race tomorrow. We showed you the lineup of horses he has, but he is stacked. Gotta wish you good luck, of course.
Thank you.
Super Derby coming up, and Lone Sailor, 7 to 5 morning line.
7 to 5 morning line. Be down in Shreveport, Louisiana, my old stomping ground. Both my kids were born in Shreveport, Louisiana during the meets that we had down there. Maybe not on the best part of the racetrack that day in the Haskell. By the way, it's a Chad Brown horse in front of me there, but he's going to move to the outside and finish a good third. There's no good magic in this race come Sunday in Shreveport, so keep your fingers crossed for me.
How you feel like he's coming into the race?
Oh, he's doing great. Very happy with him.
Good to hear. We look forward to that. We wish Tom Amos all the best in the Super Derby. Again, he is the 7 to 5 morning line favorite. As you take a look there at the group that will line up against him, High North, second choice there at 5 to 2 for trainer Brad Cox coming out of the West Virginia Derby. That happens tomorrow. Of course, we got a stacked lineup here for you on Saratoga Live on Saturday. It is Woodward Day. We are on at 2:30 tomorrow, so 2:30 start time. Everybody joining us. We will see you earlier than usual on Saturday afternoon. Hope you enjoyed our Friday card. Chris Kay, President and CEO of the New York Racing Association. Have a little fun with the family, teaching the youngsters to dance. And, of course, the feature race, Extravagant Kid, he had his dancing shoes on because he had to dance every step of the way with Pocket Change, out dueling that favorite to the wire for the win in the lucky coin. We'll see you tomorrow.